brighter than diamonds. Know I messed up, but I can't help the timing. Let go. The past is the past. Time's moving fast. A good thing won't last right now. Did what I wanted to. That was the old me. Everything I put you through. You know I'm sorry. Grown up, I changed up. I don't give the same love. Swear you could trust me. I'll never leave. I'll always be there for you. You don't have to question. I'll always be there for you. I swear you don't have to question.
We just living it up, I love it, we got it. And we've been getting lit up, don't ask me why. See you back at the club, no asking, just dancing. We just living it up, we go all night. Running miles inside my head, can you feel it? Crawling up inside my bed, I know you need it. I can sense the tension of the room and cut it. Running miles inside my head, I give you a two-step and now we running. Call me when you get a high. Don't wanna be alone tonight. Call me when you get a high. I'll give you one, two steps and we running. No more drinking my cup, stay on it. One more hit. Maybe I had enough, don't tell me why. All the girls in the club, no trashing, just dancing. We just living it up, we go all night. I can sense the tension of the room and cut it. Running miles inside my head, I give you a two-step and now we running. Call me when you get a high. Don't wanna be alone tonight. Call me when you get a high. I'll give you one, two steps and we running. Turning up all the lights for you and I. It's warm and it feels alive when you smile. It's a sign. All we have is this tonight, and I don't want anybody else. Hold me and touch my body, yeah. And now we running. Call me when you get a high. Don't wanna be alone tonight. Call me when you get a high. I'll give you one, two steps and we running.
Can you hear it?
Yeah,
Can you hear
I
it?
know you hear it though.
Can you hear
They
it?
trying to drown me out.
Voice is getting louder.
Can you hear it? It feels like Nirvana. It sounds like Team Spirit. The energy so exciting. The power is so enlightening. The thrill is so frightening. You want it to last forever, but forever is a fantasy. Count the seconds and value the hours. Tomorrow's a dream, but this moment is ours. And I don't know what it holds, but watching it all unfold. Even your favorite song eventually is old. Turn me up though. Trying to drown in your sorrow. Need you to hear my voice through this bass and this treble. I'm your conscience, just trying to get you through this nonsense. Like a broken promise, I'm just trying to keep you honest. Can you hear it? I know the struggle is real. I know that life is hard. But yo, can you hear it? They trying to drown me out. They trying to drown me out. But yo, can you hear it?
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Oh. Can you hear it?
take away the pain. Standing in that sunshine, yet it feels like it's rain. Try to talk to someone, but it all feels in vain. Like 4 quarters, young homie, you gon' need change, yep. You gon' need some love, yep. You gon' need some help, yep. PTSD, struggling with your mental health. Can you hear the voices call? They trying to make you fall. The lack of trust makes you an enemy of all. But that voice keeps telling you bust back. When them kisses feel like deceit and hugs feel like attacks, and that voice keeps telling you bust back. A mouth full of lies, they keep skewing the facts. Can you hear it? There's a still small voice in the back of your mind. But yo, can you hear it?
Here's the reason that Kimmy's after becomes the very forced out of the stopwatch. It's carnage. They're all charged at his command. Oh, kaboom! It's do or die.
We're back and we are ready for our game number 1 to start our first best of 2. Thank you guys so much for sticking around throughout that delay. But you won't have to wait too much longer, as I do know that lobby is almost ready. Champ Select is almost ready, but we still have a few more things to get through before we jump into it, because if you guys want to have your say and share your predictions on who you think will take game number 1, or at least this series, then you can go to Twitch chat up there. Bob's giving me, what was that face?
I'm just trying to put you off your game. You said you wanted unhinged vibes. I'm going full.
Oh, I didn't say I wanted unhinged. I said I'm feeling the
Well,
unhinged
I heard that as
vibes
I
right
want,
now.
and now I am providing.
I guess the unhinged vibes are actually coming from Tally over there, being the odd one out there. 2-0 for Kanga. You think Fury not standing a chance?
I think Invictus is unlocked. I can't bet against my boy, you know. I'm a faithful Invictus fan. He's gonna pop off today.
I almost want to change my prediction just because of how good the Ryu Fury interview was. Sometimes my predictions are actually purely based on interviews and vibes and not the players' like accolades or anything.
I think that's how
Good way
Mac
to go
did it
about
a fair few times, didn't he? He was just like, yeah, you seem fun. Like, you know what, actually, production, switch up all these graphics right now. This is my new prediction.
I'm not going to make them switch it up. I'll stick with my 1-1. You went 1-1 as well, Skim. Are you still feeling pretty confident in it?
No. I do, in fact, want to switch to a 2-0 for Kanga now.
Okay, well then I'll definitely stay. You can switch it up. Tally and Skim, you can both go for the 2-0. What made you switch then?
Well, it's all about the vibes.
Oh, so you just say what I say.
Yeah, I'm actually copying what we just talked about during the break. So it's just about the vibes. And I don't know if it's the coffee I've had today, or if it's like some like the words I've said, or like some of the games I was playing before I went into these rehearsals. But it's the vibes. It's like a 2-0 for Kanga right now. Yeah.
That's the unhingedness we're looking for. Let's see if they're able to at least take game number 1. Maybe some more unhingedness will come out in the draft, because it is already game number 1 Champ Select. Let's get in.
It's time. You've been ever so patient waiting for us to get to this one. And yes, we love having pauses. We love to have pauses in game as well. And we probably will. But until we reach that point, let's see what happens in the pick and ban phase. Looks like Fury have lost their first 2 here as Kanga get to lock in what they want to do instead. Going to start off with the Nocturne ban and that Belveth that we were discussing before for Nox.
Yeah, we've also seen that, yeah, the double jungle ban is really interesting. We're seeing like Nox's pool being taken out. Like we were shown in like the graphic that you brought up, Nox's champion pool. Not really contested by Invictus, but you know, we'll see if like one of them wants to take that brand, play like the AP jungler. You know, we'll have to see. Yeah,
it's an interesting choice though, isn't it, right? To sort of target the junglers and their pocket picks as opposed to what is really strong on the patch, as we've seen so far across the few days, where champions like Rumble and whatnot just basically auto-win. They've only had 1 ban. They've used it on Woodon, who's played 2 games of the Jax, forcing him to play something a little bit different. And with everything up and available, Telly, they've decided on a first pick for Senna.
Yeah, it's honestly just like the champion is extremely strong on this patch. Like as a support with the new support items, you pretty much do an insane amount of damage with next to no resources. And you're pairing with like Seraphine, these other strong poking AD carries is like what makes your champ so insanely strong right now. And then we're seeing straight away the Kalista Renata, hopefully the Renata, Kalista take it back into the center, which is a super strong lane, which does really well with these double range bot lanes.
What do you prefer about the Renata pairing with Kalista as opposed to maybe a more traditional Kalista pairing, like a Nautilus, for example?
I think the Renata allows the Kalista to play like quite unhinged in lane. Like you can play on the edge, play for that reset. I think the attack speed synergy with Kalista is quite insane. Also, like the ult combo, like I think Renata's ult is extremely underrated. And like as a range champ, it's kind of underrated when you get to like fly in, fly out, then also layer that on top with Nada CC.
You've got that as a free escape as well, right? If a jungle gank were to go awry, well, that is going to be their pairing. Actually, the response from Fury, which gives us a complete understanding as to why the first pick center was that highly prioritized. They've gone for the Seraphine pairing. Now, we've seen that already coming out from Violet in the Bliss game. They're going to pair that along with the Xin, so Nox wanting a little bit more engaged. Played it in their second game up against Ion, and hopefully this could be the difference maker that gets him the advantage into Invictus.
Yeah, so we've seen the double jungle bans go towards Nox, but he's also just picked up like pretty much one of the best junglers on the patch. Paired with the center Seraphine, like he is extremely comfortable. Like you could kind of look at these three champions as like a Godzilla trio. Like they're really strong on this patch. They've answered back with the Wukong, which I prefer much more than the Graves. I think the Graves is like a Xin Zhao answer in isolation, but it's obviously bad into the two range champs that they've shown. I really like the teamfight presence that Kanga is showing.
100%. So much more cohesion with us, and it's a hit-up play, I suppose, of translating what works in solo queue into a competitive environment where it's not about necessarily just winning that 1v1 like we've been highlighting, but more about, well, what does our mid-game look like? How are we actually going to play for these objectives? What can I do in tandem with the rest of my team? Well, Kanga going to open up their accounts by denying away the Gwen, making sure that Tomasino doesn't get a carry pick that we know he is so happy to play on. As for Fury, they will get 2 bans to play around with this time, and might just look to use those on all the OP champions that are left up and available. Still Rumble, still LeBlanc, still Lucian, even though no AD carry is needed. Potentially is a one on which you could play at mid.
Yeah, if I'm Kanga here, like I want to focus on taking out anything that pairs well as like a frontline carry for Fury. Like Gwen's really good. You want to look at like more bruises top, like Tomasino's. Even his Camille could be really good this game. They decided to take out the Syndra though, so there's obviously something that like Fury has thought about that he doesn't want to play into this game. And then we have the Orianna response since Syndra's gone off the board. Not really like a strong mage to pair as like a handshake matchup. Have to see what they want to take here though.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see with all these AP sources of damage being removed, what is left up and available for these individuals to land upon. The Azir pairing is going to go quite nicely then with the Wukong for even more of that sort of teamfight presence that you were mentioning beforehand. And certainly a champion that Fury is very much at ease with.
Yeah, both teams seem to be like drafting towards the same style. It's just like very comfortable, like you have a bit of early game, you have insane scaling, like you're really strong team fight. There's not really like any weak or strong points in like either draft. Like they're both pretty much gonna like play the same front to back style, like see how like these team fights break down.
Do you feel like this is almost the writing on the wall of us now getting confirmation it's going to be the Azir-Corki matchup? Is it almost the case that I'm saying we know that we both want to play aggressive, we're not that refined, that's why we find ourselves tied for 0 points at the moment. Is there a world in which both teams just go for full clears, avoid each other, and we almost become LCK for a second? It's like a 40-minute game, which would be a bit of an outlier given the current state of things here.
I would say it more so leans toward like how these matchups will play out. Like based on all these champions, we're seeing like nothing is really going to happen in these lanes. Like Seraphine is really good at neutralizing. Corki Azir, like nothing's going to happen. Cassante, like we saw what Bai was doing, like that champ is possible to kill. Like it's just going to be a lot of like farming in early game, like setting up around objectives, making sure we get like the grubs, the Rift Heralds, like not denying ourselves resources and just trying to stay stable.
Stability is going to be the key one here with another tank locked in that Ornn. And I suppose I double down on that point again, right? There is so much of that scaling across the board in terms of the Seraphine center giving so much mid-game power to the bruisers that are going to be diving in. You think it's already hard to try and kill a Cassante? Well, good luck when 2 supports are there behind. But then obviously once we do reach that late game, you get a Corki with a package, you've got all the ornaments being upgraded for these champions to become an absolute menace. So I just see this as 2 ways, and tell me if I'm wrong or if you see it some other way, but it's either going to be a 40-50 minute game where teams are just like, oh, we don't know what to do, we don't know what to play for, or we're just going to be having like a kill per minute and they're just going to be absolutely sending it.
Like, I mean, we can dream for a kill per minute, but like based on these champions, I really don't think we're going to see this game ending before like a soul point, even like an Elder. I think that it's going to be a very slow game. It's going to be like the methodical, like get your jungle camps, stack for dragon, you know, like none of these lanes are very volatile, and like it's just going to, like they're going to need their pen items to be able to deal with like the Cassante and Ornn. It's just lots of scaling.
So from what I can tell off this bot lane, or what we discussed actually yesterday, is you said that the Seraphine's most likely going to be running, or sorry, the Sinner and Seraphine pairing, one of them is going to be running the TP. Just gives them the ability to always run back to lane, have an HP advantage, resource advantage, I suppose, across the board, as opposed to your opposition that has the combat summoners to try and, you know, push it out and sort of win it in that regard. I'm thinking though, a Kalista and a Renata, if they get a sniff of blood, like they completely shut down what that comp's built to do, and they never get a chance really to hit that one item spike to group up and say, yeah, we can do dragons now, Zin, like we're so strong.
Yeah, like you're pretty much spot on. Like ideally, this like the Kalista Renata pairing, like they're running double combat summons against just TP. So if they do find like that one bit of CC, like you will see kills happening bot. And when that bot lane gets ahead, it's pretty much unplayable for the other side since they're double range. And you know that's probably the one like strong point that Kanga has that they should be able to like snowball off if they play well.
Well, let's see if that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's load in for the very first game of the night. It's a battle at the bottom of this table as both these teams have not a single point to their name and will both be hoping to walk away with at least something for themselves. Fury up against Kanga. It's game one, and it starts right now.
Yeah, it's also interesting, like, we didn't really point it out, that, like, Invictus and Nox both just decided to go for, like, the teamfight champions. They didn't want to pick the assassins. You know, they did have the option, but it's good to see that, like, they're demonstrating growth and that they can be flexible and play, like, more for the team.
And that's when I suppose you ask the question, which, well, obviously we would have to ask the players themselves to figure out the answer too, but as opposed to, like, has it been a week of realizing, hey, these champions don't actually work as well in competitive? Or was it the case that we're versing another player that wants to probably be very similar in their playstyle, so I need to go for like the Wukong, the Jarvan, whatever it may be, as you see in this game here. Actually, a bit of an interesting move here. Going for a bit of a level 1 invade, not as a full commit, but just 3 members going for this enemy red. They do know it's being taken, though, Fury, as they place that ward that the observers are so lovely top of the show. So this will be denied, and it does put the pressure on for Nox to say, all right, well, are you going to go cross-map and try and take ours?
Yeah, Nox doesn't really want to be top lane in this game. Like, he can't really get anything done, but to be fair, like, nothing could be really done on the other parts of the map either. I think that, like, this is a good invade by Kanga. Like, if they control the wave well, they can deny bot or even, like, set up for kills. We'll see that Nox is actually crossing early. We'll see if Invictus does spot this out.
You're going to realize that it's gone now, and obviously with the vision still revealing him, it's going to be Invictus looking to try and take on to this camp, as Nox is going to showcase that, well, I'm on the way. And, you know, as much as we want to try and fall clear, we're just going to try and punish you. Instant flash away from that one, but the root will connect, but too far the range. So he'll just get a bit of a parting gift, which is you have no HP now. Have fun farming your jungle camps.
Yeah, Nox knew that like he wants to end up bot side. He definitely doesn't want to be top, but Invictus is really happy with this. Like he's just going to go back to his jungle and clear upwards. We will probably see Nox if this isn't a kill bot. I mean, man, jeez. Chill, guys. It's Azir versus Corki.
Look, I tell you what, these two. Well, Reefy in particular was like saying, you know, the vibes are on. I'm having a good time. I mean, I was just going to say vibes twice in a row. That's how keen I am for this matchup. But they're going at it. They're saying we're not worried about late game scaling. Every lane is having a crack at it right now, Tally, because even Wooden and Tomasino find themselves with blinking health bars.
I take it all back. It's the LCO. Like we fight.
Doesn't matter if your team or your champion is good at 30 minutes. You get first blood right here and right now. And you couldn't ask for better. As it's Kurek that picks it up, and that means that bot lane is going to really look to try and slow down the pace and the tempo that the Sinner and Seraphine can provide.
That's exactly what you need from this comp. You need your strong lanes to be strong. And as I was trying to say earlier, Nox, like, he needs to invade the top side to be able to, like, play. Invictus decides not to contest, though. He's completely given his top chance. He wants to stay around bot side. Maybe even play for a dive on a stacked wave. We'll have to see.
Well, let's run back to the replay, because this is what we missed out on, right? So it all starts with the cannon minion, and they just get a sniff and say, well, there's the handshake, easy as you like it.
Yeah, there's just that one bit of CC that lands. It's just straight kill. Like, you can just commit double flashes always and just find that kill.
Beautiful handshake, and yeah, well orchestrated to realize that literally now, there's not a single summoner available in the bot lane. The only flash will be there for Kurek. Now Nox looking to set into top lane now, see if he can try and bait anything out of Woodon, as in jumps Tomasino to try and sell the play towards him. How does Woodon find himself out of this one? Does he go for the kill? He does! He doesn't care about the gank. He says, if I go down, I'm going down swinging.
Tomasino doesn't know about the OG OP top laner. The original Cassante.
Ah, good old Ornn. What a champion. Deceiving amounts of burst that came through the brutal proc, no doubt. Enough for Tomasino to realize, why have I oversold that play?
It's quite insane to find a trade there. Like, everything is going right for Kang in this game. They're finding gold where they shouldn't. They're doing well snowballing where they should be. It's a really good job in the early game from them.
Well, let's see then what happens in the bot lane, because that's, in my mind at least, the most volatile of them all to keep our eyes on. Mid lane and top lane, whilst they have been scrapping, you'd imagine for the most part should be pretty content with how things are fanning on out. Handshake very close there from Kurek to try and bring back Hooper. Wheeler was a fair bit away, so might not have been a chance to find another kill again, but I imagine we're going to find ourselves staring at the spot lane for the majority of this one.
Yeah, we need to pay attention to what the junglers do here because this is what both teams struggled with in week 1, was the bot lane pressure was just not there for either side. We see Invictus running down to bot because he knows the wave is frozen and Fury need to walk up to be able to push this. Nox is very far away though and he's unable to help. We'll see if they do flash onto the Seraphine.
Oh! Flash there from Curate brings them both together and that is perfect. A stealth cast to the root, but it does not matter. Invictus takes down one. The Rent to slow a second. Findo on his debut. Welcome to the roster. In comes Fury. That's mine for the taking. And with 4 members involved, assist gold goes crazy.
It's as easy as that. They just played the lane well. They let the wave push into them because Seraphine, as she wants to farm, like she's going to naturally AoE with her Q. So the wave's going to push in. They froze. They pulled down their jungler and they found 2 easy kills.
Really nicely done, really well orchestrated, and finds himself in a massive lead as a result of that one. They'll be able to pick up the dragon. You'd have to imagine with it down to 50% already, even despite Nox poking his head into the area, Invictus isn't going to peel away from it anytime soon. They will have the inline track to rotate their bot lane up here as well. And that would mean very much on the pace is this first dragon. You said that you reckon this game would be one that, well, we should be looking towards a soul point, even an Elder, to really be the conclusion.
I take it all back. I think the amount of snowballing that's going on right now is quite insane because it's also like if one of these comps gets ahead, they run over the game because it's so easy to do objectives with the tank and then there's or like a Corki and a Cassante. It's very easy to take over the games where you can like dive with a strong front line or like set up around objectives and pick very easily.
Speaking of pick, talk to me about some of these rune choices. Is there anything that stands out for you in particular? I mean, I look at the mid lane, obviously Corki, fairly proficient with the first strike, much like a Jace, for example, but for Fury, does the fleet footwork surprise you?
Yeah, Fleet is just like a new addition to Azir after they made the change to his W that now applies on hit. That's why you see like the Nash's Lichbane build. As Azir in lane, like you just get access to like a really strong lane rune in Fleet because you just order the champion with your W, which is really easy, and get that full heal prop.
So what happens here? Will there be any kind of proccing happening in the top lane as the Brittle goes out, the knockback away, the flash, the survival, and then the fade away from Chirp. Hits him with a rocket and reminds him that Corki is a very strong champion. Tomasino underneath the tier 2. At only 7 minutes in, looks to try and go all out, but is unable to find a second.
That's exactly what Fury needed. Like they secured the grubs and they found the kill with the mid lane ram. It's really good from Chirp there.
See what happens now. It's a massive wave crashing on the top lane here for Tomasino with a cannon to get it all done. Let's look in the bot lane once again. We've got a replay here. What have we missed?
Yeah, this looks like they've overextended again, and like you just can't walk up into the combo here. You have no combat summoners, they're extremely strong. Like you kind of just have to play the respect and like stack as much as you can without letting these guys snowball. Because we all know like how dangerous this combo can be when they get ahead.
It certainly can be, and a Callisto ahead is certainly one to be feared. And even if there are a fair bit of CC on the enemy side to try and slow them down and make the movement of a Callisto feel wonky, it doesn't really matter if they've got enough damage to shred you down before anything comes to life. I suppose the saving grace of Fury is that they do still have those double supports to try and bolster their bruises once a fight were to break out on a bigger scale. But the question for me, at least, I'm hoping that you can answer would be, well, when is that moment? Is it an item spike? Is it a particular objective?
I think it's just all around Corki, because like pretty much regardless how much Sen and Seraphine dies, they're going to do their job. They're going to like enable the rest of their team to be able to perform better in team fights. When Corki hits these item break points, like the 2 items, 3 items, like he's going to be doing the same damage. This champ can solo carry like objective setups and team fights with the package, so we'll have to see if Chirp is locked in.
Let's see if he is locked in, if he's playing around that and you know, very conscious of that being their point, their power spike, if you will, to try and work their way towards. Going to go for a bit of a roam now is Chirp. As he spots out Woodon with only 1 Void Grub still remaining, 2 being taken by Fury already as he Valkyries in, looking to try and apply some damage on towards the Ornn, the 3-point strike, knocking him up, getting him down low, down to 20%, in goes the wind, becomes lightning, and the kill to take him down. Nox with a second to his name, perfect KDA, and looking to try and get just a little bit further ahead of Invictus.
It's just good foresight by Fury to rotate their bot lane mid. They know that like when they show 3 numbers top side, like their bot lane is susceptible to being dove, as Corki is TPing here. He might have package though.
He could be in a lot of trouble, actually. He might just TP into this one and find himself in a lot of trouble. Out goes the wave. Not enough to try and take him on down, but a smash against the wall. Kurak lives, Rilla survives, and that's a really, really punishing TP.
See if they do the same thing mid though.
If the same thing happened twice, well, this champion has even more mobility. Can shuffle away, can use the Emperor's Divide, might be forced to try and do it. Out goes the Encore, goes completely wide and flashes to the safety, so there is no trade at all.
I was trying to hype up Fury for respecting the fact that they could get 3-man dove if they showed bot there, but you know, it happened anyway. It's such a shame.
It just did not matter. No trade between these mid laners. I mean, Tomasino's already proxying waves like he's playing Singed in a solo queue game right now. He doesn't seem to care playing the Cassante right now. Back to base, picks up the Sunfire, makes life even easier now for him to push and crash and do as he pleases. But yeah, that sucks if the Azir can get away, but the Corki falls just a little bit behind.
No, it's not too bad though. He did end up picking up the wave, which is like good. You know, he denied the push onto the turret. Unfortunately, he gave up his life, but like he's still getting gold at the end of the day.
Still getting gold. That's what matters. Still farming up that Manamune and making sure that one evolves at a good timing. As it stands right now, it's all about the spot lane. It's the lane I was interested in. It's the lane that is providing us with the goods so far. Really, 2-0-3 with the only bounty in the game, and all of the tier 2 boots. And when we talk about power spikes, it always seems a little bit funny when you talk about like boots being a power spike, but like Yone, Yasuo, Kalista for me are the main three.
Yeah, movement is a really underrated combat stat in the game. I'd honestly say, like, to me, movement and vision are probably the two strongest combat stats in the game, more than damage, because having the jump on someone or being able to rotate quickly to an objective or a fight is like extremely underrated. And this is why you see in high elo solo queue, lots of people just rush boots so they're able to leave their lane and rotate the fights quicker.
Yeah, Moby Boots broken for a reason on those broken champions like the Alistair, for example. Here we go for the second dragon, then picked up by Kanga as the map will transform in just a second. An Ocean Rift is what we're going to be playing for. Fancy that, eh? A late game with all this sustain. That certainly could be a bit of an issue for Fury if Kanga were able to acquire all 4 to their name.
I don't think we've had a bad soul since I've been on.
You just got the luck of the draw.
I'll just bless teams you get, guys. If I'm on the cast, prioritize dragons. I promise you oceans and mountains.
It's the tally soul point. Oh, bot lane. I don't know, a lot of trouble right now. Forced to flash away. Doesn't have the ultimate, and that could be his demise. Out comes the Dawning Shadow. The survival from the shield could have just been enough. But Invictus turns the tables around, makes it an unfair fight. An uneven matchup, really, as they look to try and crash this wave as quickly as they can. Hooper jumping into the shadows, trying to hide and make sure that he cannot be taken on down. But Invictus says, well, I can break that stealth in just a heartbeat. In with a Cyclone, flash into R2 again. And it does not matter. In with the TP comes Tomasino. Out goes that hostile takeover. And in the encore, it's AoE ultimates galore. Now sounding the all-ult, knock him up, bring him down, and crash him up in the air as he gets dragged across the wall, taken on down with the assistance of that turret. And Kanga have just been wiped.
Oh, I cannot believe they were able to turn that around. It was a huge team fight out of Nox. He did so much damage, split up the fight, and then Tomasino just comes in and cleans everyone up. This is such a good position to be in as Cassante right now.
And how crazy is it that you see, literally, they go back to base and how many items they must have purchased as a result of that one. They must have been so strong, but for, you know what, it's just to kill him to a center. Easy.
As you can see in the replay, like, Hooper dies, blows his flash, but it's whatever. They know that Kanga have blown all their ults here as they're TPing in. They have positioning on them. They're cutting out the Renata ult. Seraphine lanes a really nice ult, but you see Nox go in here and this does so much damage while also just splitting the fight up. And they're just cleaning up from all sides. They come from 3 angles, everyone's doing the damage they need to, and it's just easy picking for these champs at this point in the game.
Certainly looked to be that way, wasn't it? Very much a close quarter combat fight and easy for then the AoE of a Corki, but most importantly, the Bruisers got a chance to have a little bit of uptime to try and take down as many members as possible. And with that respawning, now been able to pick up a whole host of Void Grubs to their name as well. That's going to be really, really helpful when it comes to setting up some of these sieges and yeah, looking to try and open up the map more for them to have some more breathing room to try and run these members down.
Now, Skimmy, let me paint a picture for you, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're playing AD carry. You've absolutely destroyed your lane, right? You're having the time of your life, okay? And you have you look at Clissa's item inventory, you're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of strong. And then you rock up and you see Cassante's items and you're just like, alright guys, I'm not doing damage at all.
It is a bit of a concern. It's very much like our champion conundrum. It's you in a suit with the question mark ping over your head. You're smiling, but you're not sure why. You're thinking, lane should be good. This should have been great. But that's a Frozen Heart and a Sunfire only 14 minutes in. And the Blade of the Rune King is just not going to be enough. So I think we might see them relegating themselves to say, you know what, Dragon is all we'll fight for right now. Because for Fury, it's a case of we've just taken the grubs. And we're going to take the Herald straight away after.
Yeah. To Kanga's like saving grace is like they're not out of the game after that team fight. You know, it's more so like the game is back to an even state. Cassante doesn't have any MR yet, which is like the one good thing. Azir will still do damage to this guy. I hope that Fury itemizes into the Leandries next, just to make sure that he's doing as much damage as he can to the double front line coming out of Fury. but we'll have to see as Wudon is getting ganked.
He's getting ganked also by a Seraphine as well. How scary is that? Imagine Seraphine jungle coming to gank. You'd be absolutely mortified. He's already gone for that flash. Encore is available if he so desires. He's going to try and go for the root. Just clips him with the very end. The extension by using Nox as a proxy to make sure it worked. But this is the price they're paying for it. Yes, you can dive our Ornn. Honestly, I don't think Ornn really cares if he's 1-5. He's still going to be a valuable member, even with those ornaments. The trade-off is that Kanga take towers and try and open up the map. But it's not to be outdone by the fact that Fury did get the Herald, and we'll say we'll get a tier 2 as well.
Cancelled the base.
Certainly did, and it means that there's no Renata to back up Reela right now. This is a bit of an awkward situation for the Kalista to find themselves. They're still going to go for it. Same for Fury. Empress Divide knocks him into the tower. Invictus makes sure that he will die with that Cyclone, but Fury will fall on down. It's a double for Nox. There's Chirp. Unfortunately, not able to run away.
Still really good. Like, I haven't seen much of the Wukong on this patch, but I believe with the items that are out right now, if you have a 4-kill Wukong, you're very comfy.
It's telling you pretty strong. I mean, Titanic Hydra for one, Thunder Sky for the others. I mean, they're telling you that, hey, we can play these on-roll champions that fit the meta, but we're still going to play them like carries. They're putting in a solid shift so far.
We'll see if Kanga want to opt into doing the Dragon here. They are down ultis, but they do have a bit of temper before the Corki respawns. He does have TP, and his package might be up. We'll see if they want to play for the team fight. I do believe they should just do this Dragon and get out if they can, because I'm pretty sure without ults they are going to get destroyed.
Yeah, they don't want to get mogged, that's for sure. They're going to try and rush in, rush out, and get the hell out of dodge as that Corki is boosting down the lane, but too little, too late. Findo much more interested in crashing that mid wave and saying, well, if you go for the Dragon, if you're all in on that one idea, we'll make you pay elsewhere. They've managed to accrue, what, 4 turrets to 2? It's a pretty successful passage of play there from Fury to try and actually take the lead.
Yeah, Kanga is sitting very comfy right now as well. Like, they have 3 dragons. Like, they can say, like, all right, you guys can have the next 3. Like, we can scale. Or, like, they can fight the next one and get that soul point. And having an Ocean Soul on your Wukong or one comp is going to be quite insane.
Well, let's see now, what is the next play? What are they hoping to try and find now? Because you can imagine both Hooper and Findo with an item to their name are just screaming, let's group up, let's fight, let's keep inviting Kanga into these skirmishes because we feel strong. And we know that if we can jump on Reela, he's got no flash, he's only got Cleanse to rely on, but Cleanse is not going to get you out of all the damage and that a Cassante and a Zin can look to try and not only soak themselves, but then provide too. Out goes the Call of the Forge God. Enough to force out a flash from Seraphine, but the root connects with Reela. The handshake doesn't connect on this occasion. Then the one-man Cyclone onto Nox, he goes to the Crescent Guard, it doesn't matter, they just run inside and wave him goodbye.
Extremely overconfident from Nox there. Like, he doesn't have the flash and decides to go in. Like, when you get on top of a Wukong like that, you're not moving. If he wants to pop that ult, like, you are staying in place.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time, and unfortunately, it just fuels the fire that makes Invictus even stronger. As he, no doubt, working his way towards that second item in just a few moments, but it's all about looking to try and attend to these side lanes now. You mentioned before that no magic resist have been picked up here by Tomasino. He's got the magic mental now, but it's looking as if the response is to match him with the Azir.
Yeah, Azir's just going to like sit comfy against the tank. He's just going to keep farming, keep scaling. He doesn't really want to participate in fights right now. Like, neither does Corki. Like, they kind of just want to keep getting the items. That's why you see, like, both junglers grouping around the mid lane, like, abusing the Kalista Renata, the Stennis Seraphine. Like, these champs want to be, like, fighting now. They fit their power spikes.
So a bit of a different build coming up from the Corki. Went for the Manamune for the mana you'd have to imagine, right? They're susceptible to sort of sustain issues, but actually then rush in the Malignant second. What do you rate of this one compared to what you've seen in the past? Maybe like Ludens or say like a Leandry's?
It's pretty much the same idea as like the old like Leandry's Corki build. Like you get the AP item. It's just Malignant synergizes really well with Corki. Like you get the rocket cooldown. You get a pull for a little bit of damage on every single rocket you hit, which is like just an extra bit of chip damage. I think like the ultimate haste is like the main thing. Like when Corki can just keep firing rockets, like everyone knows how much damage that big one starts doing towards the end of the game.
So you wouldn't say it changes how you approach the champion, not doing anything different. You're not weaving in less auto attacks, for instance. It's still very much like a case of your rockets are going to be insane.
I say it's the same at like this point, the 2-item break point, but like the rest of the build is very different to what the old Corki build would be. You go for a much more like bruiser, like tanky Corki build, so you can play a bit more aggressive because you do have items that give you a decent amount of health and defensive.
Let's see then how aggressive Chirp decides to be in this one. We know in the past he certainly has been one to try and farm up that damage per minute number. It's usually been at the cost of him falling on down though, because he's been too overzealous to try and get that high amount of DPS. But let's see if he can reel it in tonight. and find a way to out DPS the Superstar in Azir as they race to the finish line to try and scale even harder than the other one. Flash is starting to become available again, and yeah, fight might be on.
I do believe, even though we can't see on the minimap, that Corki is holding package in base. I assume he's going to pick this up for Dragon, which is probably going to be extremely hard for Kang to deal with when it comes to the team fight. I would honestly like to see something like an Ornalt thrown at Corki just to force him to package away. I think it's very hard to play like these kind of short-range frontline comps into Corki when he has his package available.
Well, that's the big concern, right, with Kalista, is you can be so insanely strong, but then if mid-game comes around or like the big team fights happen and you're getting outranged and you've got too many bruises in your face, it all becomes nothing. I remember a game a hot minute ago, must have been a few years ago, when Violet was playing the Kalista. I think it was like 10-0 in lane. It was like absolutely crazy fed, but then just struggled in the mid-game because there was just too many ways to collapse on them. So let's see if Reela finds himself in a similar boat here, despite having such a successful start to this one. He's got the Rage Blade now, so incredibly strong to try and rip through those tanky members as they stare down Tomasino right now. The handshake once again just out of range, very close, but just tickles him on the exit.
You know, a bit aggressive there, honestly. I think it's really hard to find the pick onto K'Sante. Honestly, from Kanga, I would like to see them not posture for this Dragon anymore after blowing that Ornalt. I think that, like, the game is a bit too flip right now, and, like, giving this Dragon doesn't really change your game state. Like, I would like to see them just go topside right now, drop vision, trade the Dragon off.
Well, let's see if the Dragon is the play, because as you saw then from our lovely observers, Chirp has picked up the package. They know exactly what they're playing for. That is the big standoff for this Soul Point play. They're all in for this one. As much power being acquired as the Kanik comes on through now for Tomasino to have a beautiful little spell shield. Going to be in an absolute powerhouse. Is this K'Sante to try and contend with? And out they go to start off this Dragon. You have to imagine, surely, Tally, that Fury just take this one for free and Kanga show a fair bit of respect, unless Fury don't misstep.
Yeah, this is like ideal setup as well. We have Nox holding the Dragon, and then everyone else is just playing goalie. We have like Poke coming down, CC, like they have to walk past the package as well. Kanga is still posturing for this, so they want the fight.
See if they can find anything on the exit now, because the Dragon has been taken, so no chance to get that early 22-minute Soul Point. As they go, is Chirp with the Soul Point, or rather the package try and get the kill, and he has sniped out Invictus down for 30 seconds. The flip back onto a second as Reela looks to try and answer back. He's surviving, he's cleansing, but he's still out putting the damage. In goes Reed Fury with what was looking like a massive multi-knockback. Takes back two, looks to find resets, and that's what Reela's doing.
Reela
Flashing onto Findo's head, he'll get another onto the Dawning Shadow. He's still going, actually gets the reset on that bailout, still fighting. But Tomasino's a raid boss. You can't take down this K'Sante, and he'll do it all.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing like that little bit of team fight execution gap. Like that's just the Ornalt diff, honestly. Like I think if they had that ult there, like that fight is completely different. Well played to Chirp though to find that pick onto Invictus before the fight even started. He blew we can see straight away, like he blows the Wukong ult. They postured really well here, like they got the Dragon and they turn for the fight, like they're playing front to back. They, you know, just execute very well. I think this is well played by Fury. Even though Reela did his best, he really did his best to clutch this team fight. It just wasn't enough.
He had that montage music playing in the back of his headphones there as he was focusing on this one. This is disgusting from Rio. It could have been so much more, quite honestly. Apart from the fact that some good flashes got themselves out of harm's way, but he seized the moment. They tried to go for this one all in, quite honestly. But the fact is, we mentioned it before the fight even happened, that Tomasino, how do you take him down? He's just doing it all.
Honestly, yeah, K'Sante is just doing way too much of these fights. He's just finding angles. I think it's really nice that and the discipline he's having to hold his ult for that long and go all out when it really matters. Like I think that a lot of K'Santes will just blow their ult straight away when they have no cooldowns and just like be like, all right, montage time. But I think it's nice that he's holding it that long and he's just finding so much value from it.
He has to have some of the most gold in the game. I'd be very curious to see where he ranks. Surely top 3 at this point behind the mages. You'd have to imagine. Let's see what happens here in the mid lane as we do bring up that total gold graph. Now, yeah, Tomasino, the most in the game. That's a sight for sore eyes, isn't it? When the mages, the hyper carries, don't get their chance to be the #1 fan. Reela, what are you doing there? He needs a kill, and he needs it now, but he will be denied as Nox burns an ultimate and shrugs off all that damage from afar, and that could not come at a better time for Fury as they can look at Baron now.
Yeah, that's that Corki's Inzal burst. Just like a rocket lands and your health is just disappearing. We'll see if Invictus is able to position to steal this though, because I feel like this Baron does swing this game.
How does Invictus look to try and play this one? They're going to summon a ward, get it destroyed, and put one down again. Slow and steady is the mantra here for Fury as Tomasino looks to try and zone them all the way on his own. He is the bodyguard, but he can get it done. Even in all-out mode, he is not a squishy member whatsoever. He goes in, and he just removes Invictus. There is no smite steal now. Surely Fury feeling even more confident in a 3v5 to guarantee this one. And I tell you what, Tally, they are turning this game on its head.
Yeah, honestly, like well played. Nice disciplined Baron. We see Thomasino playing goalie, like everyone's positioning over the wall to poke Wukong when he walks up. They don't get the Baron into smite range. They take him out and they secure it. It's easy as that.
It certainly seems to be that way. One misstep and a complete punishment becomes the real result of that one. We find ourselves, what now, up by 8,000 gold. Our Fury sitting in a really comfortable position, only 25 minutes into this one. And I think now you look at Kanga and say, okay, you've made it maybe a little bit too easy for him to understand what your game plan is, because at a position like this, how do they ever actually get to the Dragon to even complete their soul point now?
Yeah, see, this is the thing that I said is like a saving grace to Kanga. Like, they don't need to go to the Dragon as well. Like, they have all this time to scale. They're not forced to leave their base to contest the soul point. That's the one good thing about getting all these Dragons early. Like, the Azir should be able to hold the base as well from sieges, and they're still not, like, out of it. Even though the gold lead is so big, they should be able to find, like, the gold, find the resources to be able to get more items on Azir, because I feel like he's the saving grace of this game.
Let's see if Fury can be just that as a 1v1 takes place between top laner and jungler, but in comes Sherp and says this is never going to be that fair 1v1. I'm a Fed Corki, I'm level 16, and I'm going to make myself unstoppable for now. 7-2-7, massive encore onto 3 members. They are all charmed up, unable to play their characters, but it does not matter. Out of the charm and into the ban, because they take them all down, they burn them, they shred them, they light them up like a Christmas fire. Double kill found here by Kanga. They're going to try and do as much as they can. Underneath their mid-tier 2 is a shutdown. All importantly, goes into the hands of that Azir, but look at Chirp, the only one still standing here, and he's full HP.
They made it out as well. This Renata W is doing an insane amount in these fights.
Oh!
Extremely close. As you can see, Corki's like, he's ding 16. I assume he has his Shojin when he recalls as well, so he's pretty much online. This champion's going to be doing an insane amount of damage, and Kanga needs to respect this. All he has to do for the rest of this game is just hold his package for the Dragon respawns and just threaten, and he can easily 1v5 this game.
So we talk about for Kanga how susceptible they are if the likes of you know, the Azir or the Kalista fall down. What do you think is the biggest concern for Fury? Is it as simple as saying, well, if Chirp's gone, they're out of it? But I look at it and say, well, if Thomasino's down, even scarier.
I would say, yeah, definitely if Chirp gets caught in a CC combo, like, he can get one shot. He used his packages very good though. We blew the Corki package with Ornal as I wanted, so now the fight is a bit more even. We'll have to see how it goes.
Let's see, will this one be even? It's looking like a 50-50 right now. One team looking for the soul point, the other looking to try and deny it. And ask another 5 minutes into this game, the soul point has been picked up. Ocean Soul like that. Invictus's clone is going to be first of all. Drag back, no chance to try and dash across that wall. And the jungle tax has been paid. I've done my job. I've secured the objective for my team. 35 seconds to think about their next move.
They're happy with that. Kanga's happy with that. They got away with murder. They have to get to back to their base, clean up these waves, and make sure they don't lose any more though.
How much can Fury get done within the next 20 seconds of play? Can he look to try and open up one of these inhibitors? The Baron has already expired, and these waves get trimmed ever so easily with the likes of the Azir and Kalista there to try and do their job. But they have to say, we can't stand up to this one. We'll show a fair bit of respect. We'll say, well, we get our soul point. You can have an inhibitor. We'll settle for that.
Yeah, I mean, they get the inhibitor. Kanga's not too worried about that though. Like, mid lane is so easy to farm. It's just a bit more gold for them, honestly, at this point in the game. But still, Fury were able to find something even while losing the Dragon, which is a little bit of a consolation prize. The items are coming through though. We do see the Stun to Sky and Corki, which is interesting, but you know, the item is a bit overtuned, so to be fair, like, just build it on everyone at this point. I think they're still sitting happy though.
Let's see what happened in the mid lane once again. All starts with a handshake that just gets cleansed out of immediately there by Hooper. They continue on, and this was a disgusting charm.
Also, this is a really, really nice Renata ulti. The moment Seraphine flash ulted forward, Renata ult lands on 3 people, denies any damage going forward there. And they just do a really good job at kiting us out. Like, as you can see, the Renata ult goes on to, the Renata W goes on to Kurak, and he just survives as Nox dies to the tower, which denies any more cleanup.
And that reset, so impactful. It's happened so many times. Actually, we're looking at another one. Hoop is dead on my screen. Not sure how that one's happened. No doubt we'll be going into another replay in just a second to figure out what went wrong there.
Just waddled in toward by himself and found 3 people.
Not the ideal situation. Maybe a bit of a competition right now will put on as to who can find themselves at a bigger deficit. 1-7 versus 0-6, but both these champions are still going to find impact. I mean, we're level 14 now, so those ornaments are starting to come online for the rest of the team to really enjoy. Could be quite impactful actually, because the likes of Reela has built that Terminus. Wonder if he decides to go for the Jack Show as well and just become super tanky, and then have the bailout on top of that and say, good luck killing me now.
Yeah, more than likely he'll end up going for the Jack Show. Like at this point, he's not really like the hyper carry. He's like it's all like a Z. I think Wukong honestly is going to start doing a lot more damage than Calista. I think that if he plays like that pseudo frontline, it's really good for how his team wants to function.
Upgrade has come through for Retheory now. It's a little bit of extra power to try and contest what is potentially the next major fight. 30 seconds on that Baron. I think it's too early to say it's game ending at this point. It still feels like there's a lot left in the tank for this game. But with a inhibitor already down on the side of Kanga, it's them having to showcase a bit of a defensive strategy. Welcome in Fury. Try and prevent them from hitting level 18. And try and prevent the game just ending right now.
Yeah, Chirp just wants to aim all his poke at the Azir. Like, he knows that Azir's all their wave cleared, and like, as he's autoing, like, it's very easy to land rockets as he's not able to like move in between autos. And these big rockets start to hurt at this point.
They certainly do. I mean, right on the money you were. You saw those rockets only being aimed at the Azir. He's gone back to base as a result of this one. The Baron has now spawned, and Fury are going to showcase that they have superior vision control, so Kanga don't know where to go. They're going to show a great deal of respect and to stay within their inner sanctum for the meantime. Out goes Yuan ultimate. They think they found a pick, but he hasn't hit the second headbutt. And that is a truck going the wrong direction.
It's a thick wall. Very thick wall.
Oh no.
Also, I want to touch on this before. Is the Nash's upgrade called the Baron's Gift? I've never seen that before.
Well, I saw that pop up and I thought, I've never heard this in my life, but hey, you learn something new every day.
See if they do want to contest this Baron though. It does look like it.
But he does. Very similar setup to last time for this Baron. Is Thomasina looking to try and send them all away on his own. He tried to steal it. He tried to be heroic because he flashed Invictus, but he lost to the steady hands of Nox. Clumped up as 4 they go. Thomasina drags back 2. Unstoppable goes Wood on. He gets charmed. And Refury's going to try and do it all. He's knocked back 2. He's found an instant double kill as a result. And in tandem and Reeler, they are getting it done. Flash cleanse. Kill everybody on site. You'll get the Baron, but there'll be nobody left standing with this buff. It's only Hooper for the meantime. And for a second, Tally, I wondered if they'd even dive him.
Beautiful work from both carries coming out of Kanga there. Like, Furila doing a really good job to kite and put out as much even as possible, but Refury just comes up with that huge 0, swoops back almost the entire team straight into the hands of Reela. He's got a full stack lethal tempo, and he just does so much damage there.
So much damage. Once again, let's look just how close this Baron's field was. I saw 1194, so it never looked like it was anything too crazy, but ultimately here, Fury feeling too strong with the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I honestly thought, like, as this fight was going, like, this is pretty much the sealed deal for Fury, but, like, Refury once again just lands the ult, splits up the fight perfectly, and, like, Corki can't really work through front lines at this point. Like, he wants to hit squishy, so, like, once Ornn is in front of him, like, he is just not going to be able to do the damage that he wants to.
Yeah, didn't have enough time to try and ramp up into that fight, right? Didn't get to really poke his way through all of that pain and punishment, and ultimately they will lose a major amount of those Baron buffs. Now, the interesting thing is going into that team fight, they were down a fair bit of gold. They are still down, I think, 8,000, if my memory is correct. But, I mean, we've always talked about this in the past when an Ornn is in the game, especially a Soul Point. In my mind, at least with 3 or 4 ornaments, as well as the Ocean Soul, that's probably enough to equate to that 8k difference.
Do you remember what level Ornn was?
I want to say 15, 16.
Okay, so he's got like 3, let's say like 3 to 4 upgrades going out. I think it's like on average like 1 to 1.5k gold per upgrade in stats, which is like pretty much closing that gold gap as much as possible. So the gold that we see on screen is probably the lead is a lot less than what it is showing. So
Definitely deceptive.
Yeah, I think that they're feeling comfy right now. Like, I think Azir is finally hitting his breakpoints. Like, you see the Crypt Bloom, like he's got Pen, so he's able to deal damage to the Sante. The underrated heal as well is going out in these fights. Like, it can be, because I believe it's like 400 to 500 on like all your allies, so that's a nice like 1.5k heal like the whole team, which is kind of OP now that you think about it.
Would add up for sure.
I think both teams are at a point where like they're sitting pretty, like they have all their power spikes. It's just like it's all about executing at this point.
It certainly is, and I think Refury's trying to make a strong argument that he deserves an MVP for this series. I mean, already this performance on the Azir has been pretty game-defining at moments. The ability to try and find multi-man ultimates on repeat is certainly no easy feat, but the Renata for me has found infinite value. It's been this case of who can get the better AoE ult between himself and the Seraphine.
Yeah, this Renata pick is doing so much work in these fights. Like this, the ult plus like the combo onto Calista with like just enabling her to do so much attack speed. You can even throw into Azir, like the synergy on both carries is like doing so much work.
Well, back into the game. Small lag issue, very quickly resolved. We love that one. So let's see what happens now. What did I say? I thought it was going to be either a 40-minute game or a kill per minute. Well, we've definitely had more kills per minute. Maybe we just actually hit both. maybe
I
we
called
just play
Elder.
Skimmy's bingo and we're just hitting both.
Okay, I have pretty much been wrong about everything in this game when it comes to who is winning, but I did say this game would end at Elder. So
True.
please, guys, do me justice.
Okay, guys, this is the one. It's up in 15 seconds. Ocean Soul versus a very scary Corki. Now, Fury do have the inline track for it right now. They are positioned in the Dragon Pit, or in the river, I should say. They've been the first ones to deploy to figure out where Kanga are looking to try and attack from.
Package is on Corki again, but the one saving grace is they can't really just rush Elder. You know, it's got an insane amount of health. They are pinging for the base, though. Maybe we might see a base race happening right now.
Certainly could do. This could be a very interesting circumstance because they can't just rush in, take their mid inhibitor once again and go straight towards the end. This puts us in a really awkward situation. Bot lane inhibitor being looked at right now. They're going to try and go for this one whilst the Elder is being done. They do need to get back to base and they'll have to burn TPs at the same time too. One is down on towards those Nexus turrets. The Elder's being claimed. I have seen this many times before. The TP comes in. Is it too little? Is it too late? The knockback, the shove. It doesn't matter. The heal's coming on down. Dawning Shadow trying to overlap with Furak. He's doing whatever he can, but it does not matter. Good luck with that Elder. Your base is gone.
The Nexus for Elder Dragon trade. I have seen this way too many times in the LCO, Skimmy. That has to hurt. That has to hurt.
That would feel so devastating to know that you've just beaten them at the Baron. You've been down so much gold. You've got all this power, but you've tunneled on that one objective. Your win condition was the Dragon, and you've gone there every single one of them. Out of nothing, Fury snagged the win with a really confident shot call. Let's see if Kanga can bring it back right after this. So he's trying to hide, make sure that he cannot be taken on down, but Invictus says, well, I can break that stealth in just a heartbeat. In with a Cyclone, flashed into R2 again. And it does not matter. In with the TP comes Tomasino, out goes that hostile takeover. And in the encore, it's AoE ultimates galore. Now standing the all-ult, knock him up, bring him down, and crash him up in the air as he gets dragged across the wall, taking him down with the assistance of that turret. And Kanga have just been wiped.
One time, give it to him. Small town girl with a small town crush. Eyes get wide every time they touch. Small handshake, but it ain't me much. Side arm hug, but it ain't me none. Stuck in her head like what should I do? Or what should I say? Or how should I move? All out of whack, really for some dude. Try to talk nice, but the bark back rude. This world's so cruel. Heartbreak high from a low life too. Stepped out brave and my heart got used. I mean her heart got used. Do you feel that too? Stuck in my head like a bad tattoo. Really wanna try it all again, but my wall too high. I'ma sit back cool. Shake it off. The worry gotta go away. Remember that it's never too late. So wipe the tears off your face. You gotta get back up and shake it off. Face full of makeup. Date night ready for a taker. Doubt in my mind about a new thing. Old fling ink on the paper. Third page, dear self. Gotta pull back the layers. Past time gotta be the past time. New me looking for a savior. Can't save me if I don't want saving. Can't play me if I never stop playing. Maybe next time. What am I saying? Cause I've been through a lot, so I know I can make it. Gotta shake it off. The worry gotta go away. Go away, baby. Remember that it's never too late. Never too late, huh? So wipe the tears off your face. Wipe away, wait. Gotta get back up and shake it off. Get pushed down, but not for long. Never too long. What hurt you now will make you strong. Encourage yourself with this song. Encourage yourself, hey. You bad, baby girl, you bad. You bad, baby girl, you bad. Real bad.
Here's the reason that Kevy's after becomes the Varus. Forced out of the stopwatch, it's carnage! They're all charmed at his command! Oh, kaboom! It's
This game started out so great for Kanga. They had phenomenal lanes. They looked like they were going to have the early game advantage, and hopefully they could transition it into that mid game for themselves. But Fury just absolutely clapped back. This is the team fight in which it happened, Tally. This is where the tides turned in favor for Fury.
Yeah, honestly, this is just like above and beyond performance from Fury. They kind of just came in clutch here. This, for no right, should they be able to clean up like this after like the bot lane gets picked out like this, but they just did it. And once again, like on the mid lane, like we see so much just like diving and execution going on right now, and like there's just a lot of micro happening in these team fights that's going unnoticed that just makes this game like swing completely.
Yeah, this team fight was maybe the only team fight, I'd say, execution-wise in that middle part of the game that was a little lackluster for Fury, but that's because they tried to dive or initiate on both bot and mid lane at the same time, so you're not really going to have full numbers in either scenario, and so that was a little bit of a step back for themselves. And then obviously the Baron fight, but at the end of the day, Skimmy, it was whoever was making that call to trade an objective to end the game, to be like, hey, it doesn't matter if they get Elder, we know that we're going to be able to finish out the game in time for that to not matter.
100%. I love the confidence behind that kind of call. It takes balls to really do that in a high pressure situation like that, knowing that, yeah, this is the call that I want to make. And for all your players, or all your teammates rather, just to buy into that idea and instantly go, yeah, we're doing that with you. I'm sure there's definitely been conflicts with other rosters in the past where it's like, we probably can do this, but I'm unsure, and that kind of like uncertainty or nervousness. Be your undoing. Let's have a look at some of the damage numbers here. I was actually quite curious to see who would have done the most, but no surprises. It has to be Corki. Went for this build all about just hitting you from afar. Definitely Azir was target number one, and he's absolutely rinsed all through them. So despite losing 2 bans, it wasn't really a hindrance for them, Tally.
Yeah, losing bans is like, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It helps and it hurts you because there are more OP champs in the game. Like as we can see, we're getting the Corki versus Azir matchup. Corki not really feeling threatened so much this game. It's quite a slow game based on how the comps go, but not how the gameplay went. He picked up the gold he needed, and he was able to output the damage.
I was super impressed with how Chirp placed himself in a lot of fights. I do know that one around Dragon, the first Dragon that Fury were able to pick up for themselves. You guys were highlighting Tomasino quite a lot, but I also had my eyes on Chirp. The fact that he's able to re-engage, to disengage at the right amount of HP to continue putting out damage, to be able to get all the kills on Kanga. It was phenomenal, that fight. I would have to say one of the best fights I've seen from a lot of the players individually on Fury for their time that has been in LCO. So great performance for them. The Corki being picked up later on in the draft too. You thought it was going to have high priority. We didn't see it show up at all yesterday, Tally, but this time around didn't get banned. It got let through, in fact, all the way to that second phase.
Yeah, I think it's like a playstyle thing. When people don't really want to prioritize these slow mid laners, it's more so like, we want to play an aggressive early game. We want to be able to snowball and rely on other lanes to carry. I think that like Corki really strong on this patch. Pretty much every single item that he built has been buffed or changed in some way. Like he just synergizes really well with what happens in the game. As you can see, like in the game, you just pick up package every single time Dragon respawns. It's almost impossible to team fight against a Corki as a package. So it's like well played by Chirp to like use package to enable his team.
The other one that stands out as well is the Kalista. Again, we mentioned it yesterday because we are on that hotfix patch, that 14.1b. We thought Kalista might have been picked up a little bit more as well. Like, sorry, she was banned quite a lot yesterday, and we thought that when we saw her get picked up, that she would have that impact. But Skim, you mentioned in the cast that the mid game for Kalista kind of struggles sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can see the merit behind it in the laning phase, right? They get 1 bit of CC, as Tally mentioned, and then it's a kill. And that was pretty much happening on cooldown. But then that one really weird fight where they dive Hooper with the Invictus gets punished by the Tomasino TP, and suddenly you're thinking, hang on a minute, like how is this Kalista, despite being so fed with a Pocket Renata there to buff them up and get them out of, you know, a cheat death situation, how have they lost this fight and actually get aced, you know, so early on. So it was definitely a case of you're strong, but then the laning phase wasn't as easy to try and translate into those big team fights when everybody's grouped up. You know, the Xin, the Cassante just had too many ways to, first of all, survive, but then actually deal out damage whilst being basically a fridge, like an immovable object.
I like that. I like that little analogy of fridge there. You got to look for easy things to be able to change up between games in a series, Tally. And sometimes you can look back and be like, sure, is that positioning? Maybe our target priority in team fights. But an easier change up is more often in a draft or maybe a team comp that you want. Want to be able to get your hands on. So Kanga will have that different side for themselves now. what are you hoping is a quick and maybe easier fix for them when it comes to draft or a team comp?
I think that you have to adapt to how this game went. Like, this was a very, very heavy team fight focused game. I assume game 2 will probably go exactly the same. They banned out 2 junglers who aren't very good team fighters and gave them Xin. I think that like removing the Xin from Nox or taking it themselves will make their lives much easier in team fights. It's so much easier to perform when like you just don't have this champ who just splits up the team fight, one-shots your carries. Like, I feel like he's just a bit too strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you describe him that way, I would probably want to take him out as well. And if you're on the side of Fury, Skim, are you hoping to run it back? Do you want to try and get your hands on the exact same champs? Or is this a game where you might be, or series that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable that you want to experiment, open up your playstyle a bit more?
Well, I'm curious actually how do they approach this, because I feel like they did a massive shift from what they showcased to us last weekend, where it was a case of, yeah, we're not going to go for these, you know, superstar solo queue carries with these obscure picks. We are going to play very much what's on meta. I'm going to go Xin. We're going to have 2 supports to try and bolster us up and make sure that we can win those mid games, which certainly was the case. I don't know if it's a case of it worked once and it's going to be easy to try and counter the second time, because you can definitely guarantee some reaction bans are going to come out in this next draft. So I wouldn't be too surprised if there were some adjustments, but if there's any of those really strong picks that get let through, no doubt they're going to be snatched away to make whatever kind of comp it works with.
Yeah, I'm excited to see then what does end up getting let through, what those reactions are, if something's going to be a little bit too knee-jerk. But we're not going to look at that right now. Instead, we're going to look at some submissions that you guys gave us, our From the Fans. We asked you what champion you wanted to see in the new season of Arcane. So make sure you have your say, maybe share your thoughts with us. You can at LCO on X on Twitter, whatever you guys are still calling it. But we have another one here. I need my boy Ezreal to make it in. So I know it's so tough. I'm down for Ezreal to join.
Yes.
I think that one slots in quite seamlessly as well compared to some other suggestions.
Okay, hit us with your lore, your story. Why does Ezreal work? Nap?
Yeah, Tally.
Isn't he from Piltover?
Yep.
There we go. It's it. There we go.
Give me laughing at me.
Should I? No, because I know nothing about lore, so I'd always, whenever we've had segments about this, I laugh so hard.
I'm not a lore gremlin. I am not a lore gremlin at all.
Should I find the first line from his About Me
I
page
think you
again?
should do that for every champion suggested from now on.
A dashing adventurer unknowingly gifted in the magical arts, Ezreal raids long-lost catacombs, tangles with ancient curses, and overcomes seemingly impossible odds with ease. He's just built diff.
Long sentence. That's a long intro sentence. I don't know. I feel like when we look at the what did we call it? Screenplay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Screenplay. Ezreal just slots in. It just makes sense.
Who's playing the
I
Ezreal though? Is it me or Tally?
I got the hair.
True,
yeah,
you do have the hair.
Skim. I was gonna say you can be the Nah, but that doesn't really work, does it?
I don't like have enough chest hair, or like I'd be like. No,
Ginger champs?
True. Is this ginger? What do you call this? Is this ginger? It's like maroon ginger.
Yeah.
Strawberry?
Nah,
Is it strawberry
you're
blonde?
ginger.
Is that like the
Nah.
You're
proper
ginger.
term? Oh, okay.
It's ginger.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm a ginger.
I've got a little bit in my hair too, though. This side. I think it's.
You
this
have a
side,
little
sure.
bit in your hair. Are you
Yep,
trying to comfort
pretty
me right
I
now, live on
skipped.
air? Like, it's
Yeah.
okay, bro. We can get bullied for being gingers together.
I luckily
Yeah.
skipped the ginger genetic. Not flaming skimming.
You
but yeah,
skipped it. Bro's like, you low-rolled it
I
live.
avoided it. Thank goodness.
You were
my dad's
born-
Oh,
ginger. I
before-
skipped it.
Before we get into any more arguments here, I'm going to ask you guys in chat to put in your prediction who you think is going to be taking game number 2. Tally's already out with his prediction, and I heard from production as well that Skim, they changed your prediction to the 2-0 for Kanga, so you're also out.
Tragedy.
So the only people still in the running, I believe, are myself, and I think Twitch chat went with Fury
Twitch
in,
chat never
in
loses.
game 1 as well.
They're too smart.
Twitch chat
They're
never
too smart.
They just know everything. But make sure you guys put in your votes. They're up there in the top corner, and we'll see who does take game number 2 when we come back. It'll be draft in this best of 2 between Fury and Kanga.
Tonight already feels like a memory. Got me hoping that you won't forget, remember me. If you need a refresh, I don't need a recess. I need your love to satisfy your need, my darkest fantasy. 'Cause you're the one I'm dreaming of. Late at night, I'm screaming for every time you leave. 'Cause when you call my name, I know where to go. When you call my name, that's just how I know. It's LCO. So please don't leave. I need peace. I need to be underneath. Underneath, let's hide down low. While I let you touch my soul. You be wrecking and I just roll. No, no, no. I need your love. Satisfy me. My darkest fantasies. 'Cause you're the one I'm dreaming of. Late at night, I'm screaming for every time you leave. 'Cause when you call my name, I know where to go. When you call my name, that's just how I know. It's LCO and me. 'Cause when you call my name, I know where to go. You call my name. When you call my name, that's just how I know. It's LCO and me. And I hope that you forget.
Here's the reason that Kimmy's after becomes Tavares. Forced down on the stopwatch. It's carnage. They're all charmed at his command. Oh, Kaboom! It's do or die.
You take the Elder and I take your Nexus. That's exactly the trade-off that really happened in that game there, Tally. And what a shambles it was to be. Because you're thinking, surely now Kanga have brought it back from the brink of disaster. They've stolen away a massive team fight at the Baron. And then lose to a base race. We've seen this too many times.
You know, actually, I was paying attention to the player cams after they won, and just no one was really getting hyped. Like, I know if I won a base race like that, like, I'm jumping out of my chair and I'm screaming on mic. Like, I feel like we need to get some more passion going on, guys. Come on,
guys. Look, we know it's online. We know it's all about, you know, it's a regular season game. You know, we're at the bottom of the table. There's not enough behind it. But surely, give us, as well as the people watching, what they want. And we want some pop-up. We don't need a why not dance. We don't need any kind of like skits like Winter and Rogue used to do. But give us something as we load ourselves in for the second draft to see how things change around here. As Kang will be looking to try and salvage at least 1 point from this match. And with all bans up and available, let's see if much changes this time.
Yeah, we're seeing a very similar draft coming out, but we will, like, I'm curious, like, how they want to adapt, because I think both of them probably think that they had, like, the winning draft. You know, we see the Seraphim being taken away there, so not something that Kanga wants to play themselves. We'll see if they want to take away, like, one of the stronger, like, hyper carry bowlings in, like, Lucian, Aphelios, or if they do want to play the Callisto again.
So Stimulate, the only knee-jerk reaction at this point would be the fact that the Seraphine is going to be denied away from Kanga, not allowing Fino to get his hands on that once again. What do Fury think is the most worthwhile last band for them to go for? Actually go for the Callisto, so double response from either side then as to what worked in game one and what they want to deny again. So it'll be a very different outlook. Then the question now completely pivots around to, well, what is first pick worthy for Kanga? Senna was up and available if they wanted it with a different pairing, but they go to an old faithful, which is Varus.
Yeah, it's just a staple pick on this patch. I'm really curious if Fury do prioritize Xin again. But I think that Nox, like, once again, they banned 2 of his champions, and I want to know if, like, he has anything else in his arsenal, or if he's just going to rely on, like, the old faithful Xin.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. There it is. That they have decided to make this hard, this hard pivot, and whether or not it is matchup specific, where they feel like they need to try and confine to the meta or not. But look, I'm all for it. I'm enjoying it. It's aggressive, and that is what we want. Question becomes though, what AD carry is seemingly being looked at to try and match into this Varus? First of all, it was Lucian, cycling through a few old faithfuls that Hoop has had to play around with. I'd like to see Kaiser, but it's not going to be the case. A little bit of self-sustain with the ultimate from Isaiah.
Yeah, this is actually like one of the like very feast or famine champion picks into Varus, because like Zyra Khan can be very good when you get snowballing, but if we do see like the Varus Karma coming out or like another range support, Zaya is one of the worst AD carries to get to pick in to something that's going to poke you. You don't really have anything to deal with the amount of damage that's coming out. Like, your only way of farming is Q, which you really just don't want to be in that position.
No, you certainly don't want to be a case of just, you know, rock up to a lane, feather recall a few times, and then actually have to recall back to base to get all your HP back. It's going to be the Renata locked in again for Kirek to show his prowess once more, I suppose. I mean, obviously with the Varus, there is a fair bit of value either way, depending on what build you go for, be it on hit or lethality. It's going to find value in that regard. Also, pairs quite nicely with the Graves, which is going to come out, so Invictus maybe taking a page out of Nox's handbook.
Yeah, Graves is a good answer to Xin in isolation. Like, Graves does really well into the jams that dive into him. Like, the smoke screen is very underrated ability, probably one of the most broken abilities in the game. And the amount of damage that he can output is going to be really good. But I want to see Kanga pair a really good chance with Graves on 4-5. The champ can't be picked in isolation. Like, he needs stuff to enable him.
Let's see what they can look to try and enable it with. Milio comes out to try and round out the bot lanes for both sides now. So Fury are locked in with what they have at the disposal. Mid lane is then seemingly going to be the next area to try and attack. That certainly was the case in last game with a whole host of them being taken off the board. Wouldn't it be too surprised then to see the likes of Corki and Azir be taken off the board next?
Yeah, this is also one of the problems with line picking Renata. There's like a lot of champs that are hard to deal with, like the Blitzcranks or like even the Milio, where she just pop the R as soon as Renata hits the R. Like, it's a quick cleanse for the whole team. This is the reason why like a lot of people aim to pick more stable range supports instead of like these champs who just get bullied or just have direct counters.
Yeah, that is going to be a good point actually to mention the ultimates cancelling one another, so whether or not Fino can find the right moment to strike and become the hero that his entire team is relying upon. That's what we're really keen to quite see. Syndra going to be taken away from Fury, so they don't want Fury to get his hands on that champion that he certainly opened up his accounts for this year with. Played 2 games, but isn't allowed to return to it anytime soon. Another AP champion in the Gwen. As the cannon also comes out, so Fury really keen on denying any kind of strong team fight setup that Kanga might be trying to, you know, assemble.
I want to see if Fury do end up prioritizing the Cassante here, because like the champions have huge impacts in pretty much every game that it's been in, but the Rumble is also still up, and like that champ can do a huge amount here, especially for the Kanga draft.
Corki denied, Cassante locked in. Hot on the money you are once again. Tomasino looks so comfortable, so strong as well on that champion, so great to see him on that once again. Also, Nox mentioned, right, you know, when I'm saying, hey, like, who decides who gets to play the character? Yeah, Cassante's just broken, so even if it is a tank by definition, they certainly are treating it like it is a carry otherwise. Kanga then have to lock in the round out of their comp, the grand reveal, if you will. They go for a Gnar, actually. They do need some team fight set up. That will give them a degree of engage. But I feel like they need something else. Just one more champion to help it with.
I would really like to see an Ori here. I think that like the champ is just really stable. It also like enables them. If he does decide to go for LeBlanc, it's a much more like early game pick. They're gonna have to be able to find leads early game because they don't really... Actually, no, I take it back. LeBlanc is extremely good versus that team. They don't have much CC to mark her. So if she does get ahead, she's gonna be able to find really good angles to poke out like Milio, Xayah, even the answer that Fury's gonna pick on 5 here.
You say LB is really good here. Would you say that Orianna is slightly better, or is it fairly comparable, like, you know, 1 to 10% margins?
I'd say, like, you pick Ori, it's like, you can do your job no matter what the enemy picks. Like, you see their draft, like, you're very good into, like, a low-range 80, like, semi-low-range 80 carry, and, like, double frontline diving into you. Like, you're gonna do your job, you're gonna scale, you can always be that X-factor. LeBlanc is more so, like, I can carry the game if I have a really good laning phase.
Well, that's it. I was just going to say, like, is it all about smashing the laning phase and hoping that you can just one-shot people so you don't even have to worry about setting up these beautiful, well-crafted team fights where it's like, look at that massive wombo I did. I'm not playing Azir, guys, but, like, look how good I am. But I think for me, the X-Factor has to be this last pick on the Sylas. I mean, this champion is going to get so many great ultimates to actually try and steal away. I mean, imagine if you hit them with a hostile takeover coming at you as well. I mean, it's just everyone's hitting everyone.
Yeah, as a bit of a Sylas connoisseur myself, like, this matchup isn't really ideal. I honestly would be curious if they do decide to lane swap. Like, Sylas is really good into Gnar top, and Cassante can neutralize LeBlanc mid, so it'd be cool if they do that. I think that Sylas will just try to neutralize laning phase, and just he's going to play for team fights. Like, he has Varus ult, Renata ult, Gnar ult. Like, he has so many good options this game.
What comp do you favor, would you say? Is there one that really stands out to you? We've always seen that Kang have a comp built to try and counter on a individual matchup, and they've got a strong bot lane to try and get themselves ahead, but as a cohesion, I'm struggling to see how it all comes together. I see a Varus ultimate, which can start things off, but it feels like there's a lot of emphasis, if they're not strong individually, on making sure that a good wombo happens from the Gnar or the Varus for them to try and find success.
Yeah, as you look at like the Kanga comp, a lot of them are just like 3 winning lanes on paper. So like 3 winning lanes with the Graves can be game-ending. Like, they can get a lot of work done. The Stylus might need help, and Graves are going to have a lot more free time than Xin. Like, they want to be able to win these lanes and snowball 2v2, like 2v2s, 3v3s. Whereas you look at, like, the Fury comp, they want a team fight. Like, pretty much they just want to survive laning phase and get the team fights. If they're even, they're going to have a much easier time, like, playing out these objectives.
And you say try and make it even because you mentioned that this bot lane could be kind of scary for the Xayah if they find themselves sustaining a whole bunch of that harass. Otherwise, if they can get themselves at a laning phase looking a-okay, then those team fights going to look, yeah, pretty rosy for them. Let's load ourselves into the Rift then for game number 2. Fury with an absolute barn burner of a game 1, actually able to steal it away with a base race, denying that of their opposition, playing for the Elder instead. As for Kanga, they'll be looking to try and serve up some revenge and look to walk away and end week 2 with a point.
Yeah, I also really like the Gnar pick from Wuon here. I think that, like, we saw it in the LCK recently, and it's one of the original counters to Cassante. Like, just being able to kite him permanently in mini Gnar really makes his life hard. And Gnar is also, like, in the right hands, that champ can do work in team fights.
So talk to me about a little bit more about these sort of win conditions that both teams are playing for. You mentioned that Fury have a really strong team fight and they'll be hunting for those as a result, but it's all about getting through laning phase first of all, whereas for Kanga, it's about strong individual matchups. We're looking at LB and Graves in particular, but would you say that they're much more inclined to say we want to play our own game, not be drawn into this Fury strat of we have to match you for these team fights you're seeking out, or would you say they want to try and play for the split push, try and draw away members of Fury to sit in those side lanes all day?
Well, ideally from laning phase, as you can see, like stuff like Fury going for Ignite, like they really want to play this snowball early. Like I hope to see Invictus invade Nox's bot side here, as he did Wardy's top side camps. He knows where he's going to be. I want to see them like push the margin early game and get a lead in so they're able to like push those side lanes in mid game and have positioning for team fights, so they're not just straight up front to backing 5v5s.
Yeah, that's not ideal, absolutely not. So let's see then if they can actually find that success with an Ignite available for them in the mid lane. That could certainly be the difference maker to try and snowball them ahead. And LeBlanc that is ahead is certainly one to be feared. We've certainly, over the years, seen a lot of proficient LBs grace our lands, and yeah, one of those 1v9 champions you've really got to keep your eyes on. But it's been a long time since we saw a Gnar. Feels like forever, despite it being a champion. It's always been at the top of things. So keep to see how Woodon can pilot this. Yeah, old Tapoon, basically. I could Woodon! It doesn't really have the same impact.
We'll try.
We will try. If it happens, it happens. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon at only level 3. Invictus going to go through a bit of an invade. Wood goes down, spots out Nox. They're going to go for that cheeky 1v1. The case becomes then, which bot lane can rock up first? Because they're still going at it. The red buff is burning. The healer's coming. The campfire is there. And he's feeling energized to run back in. Kurak now popping some damage. Heal goes out. Summoner at just that. Riku jumping across. The chain hits the blue buff. That's not what you want. And that buff doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, still, they're still getting what they want. Maybe he finds the killer, actually. Does that flash?
Crazy. Surely not.
Decides not to go for it.
That would have been a wild dive. He's just dying to wolves.
Yeah, so they weren't able to find the kill there, but like, Kanga's still find what they want. They get the invade. He's pretty much gonna just trade sides here. Maybe Nox does go for the invade top side, but I think we with his priority, we'll just spot him out, and they should be able to deny that.
Okay, so they're going to go for the scuttle first of all. Actually, so much damage coming out here from Chirp. Fury in a lot of trouble. These chains, they're connecting. He's able to jump on in and find what he needs and really even out this melee range mismatch. And Nox might even tee up the idea of a dive. Blast cone into the mid-wave connector. Decides against it in the end as Fury once again just looking to try and get as much as he can before he's forced back home.
Yeah, so Nox decided to use his tempo there to hover mid, try for the dive. So now he hasn't killed the blue buff. Invictus is coming over with double longsword here, so he's in trouble.
Certainly is. He's got a big stat check as he's not going to find any success from Chirp. He's
No
gone
flash.
back to base. He's got nowhere to go. He's running the wrong way right now, looking to actually go towards the turret. Can he deny himself before Woodon gets here? Would Woodon flash? He certainly will, but he misses the boomerang. He misses the boomerang. The flash is for nothing, and Nox is laughing straight to the bank.
He does grab the kill XP though, which is still quite a bit. Like he's gonna find himself at almost like half a level there. You'll see like the level advantage will come through. Maybe even swing the top lane matchup.
Hopefully, Tally. That is what I'm hoping for. I like that. The silver grace, the silver lining rather as, oh my gosh, look at that. The all-in at only 85 HP. Refuse had a crack at it. He's burnt the Ignite, but he's just missed it. Even with the Electrocute proc, it was not enough. That's item dip, honestly.
Yeah, this is just like the TP versus Ignite matchup. Like, Invictus is going to come here and help him get the reset, which is like really nice for Fury. Like, he needs to get the space off. He did lose a lot of health while having the Ignite, so he was stuck in lane on an extreme low amount of health. He's getting bailed out here by his jungler. Invictus is happy getting more experience, like he's having a good time.
Let's check him with his bot lane in, see how that one's faring. And I think very much to what your expectations were set to be, right? That Reeler is laying down the damage and keeping Hooper in check here on the Xayah, saying it's not going to be an easy laning phase for you, much like it wasn't in game one. It's going to really test your ability to be stable. And I don't really think you have the luxury like you do on a center where you can walk out of that 1-1-5 and say, well, it doesn't really matter. We had the support item to rely on. You're going to need to find some source of strength as the Xayah because that ultimate is going to be game-changing. But let's see if Reeler can convert this one into anything much more. Obviously, the Varus is insanely strong and is going to be going for the on-hit build with this Renata.
Yeah, we did assume that like Varus is going to be going on hit when he was paired with the Renata. Like, I think that if Varus did decide to go poke, like Xayah would have a much harder time in laning phase, but the Varus would not be able to play team fights as well as he could while being on hit.
3 members in the area. Look at the collapse now. Our Fury on this mid lane. See if they can try and bait out some re-3 before he hits level 6 as the chains go in. Chip to start things off. He's got the hijack available if he so desires to go for it right here and now. Spotting out Kurak. Realizes that that play is no longer a possibility, so they're just going to peel away with a numbers advantage to try and take those Void Grubs.
Very smart Kang. They're going for the dragon. They know good souls are coming.
Certainly do know. They've heard the mantra that Tally's in the building. It means that we are going to get a good one, but the Elder, unfortunately, that's the Tally curse. It means it's a base raise. Hooper, he's found himself an enemy jungler, and he's not happy about it. Neither find themselves with an ultimate to try and get that killing blow. So we'll have to settle for just walking away, popping a potion, and being denied all these minions, as well as a plate being picked up by Reeler right now. That is the trade-off for all those grubs being picked up by Nox and Co.
Yeah, it's not too bad giving the grubs here, as they do go onto the bot lane.
Let's see what they can find. Flash from Kurak, shove back, piercing arrow, and the first blood. Beautiful there. Really well orchestrated by Invictus as Kanga get themselves that first kill.
Yeah, really nice Q flash there by Kurak. Finder wasn't able to react in time, but you know, at least they did get the grubs. The reason why I'm saying that giving the grubs wasn't so bad is pretty much every single matchup when Fury can't hit turrets. Like, it's very, very hard for them to find any like windows to do damage to turret. They're playing melee versus range matchups. It's more than likely something that they will have to like find windows to do in the mid game.
Let's see what they can do, because much like game one went the way of Kanga, the early game is once again favoring them. They find themselves up by a nice little amount already, only 8 minutes into this. And Fury still is going to be hunting for that solo bowler. He needs it to try and break open this game, to try and bridge the difference actually, because he's already fallen a little bit behind in terms of that CS.
Yeah, I think at this point in the matchup, like Silas can really, really easy navigate it. Like LeBlanc missed her window to snowball and like get the lead. I think like if I was the Silas here, like I'm very comfy. Like you can always just Q farm and just like match the damage every time she goes into poke. You're not too worried about this matchup anymore.
Let's see now, with Nox not having level 6 just yet, is still going to go for this dragon. Not to see if they can sneak this one away from their opposition and prevent any stacking of the Drakes that Kanga may be hoping to achieve once again. They're not interested whatsoever. Not in a position either to actually make that one a reality. Fury goes back to base. Invictus much more interested in taking the respawn of his camps. And the bot lane, very much stuck underneath their own tower. So first dragon and, well, actually both objectives really go in the way of Fury. Definitely changing up their early game strategy here.
Yeah, we'll probably just see Invictus keep farming until he gets up his Ghost Blade. Like, I don't really expect him to be playing an insanely aggressive Graves until he gets like that extra bit of movement speed out of combat where he can just run around the map and really impact. But he is coming into lane here. Maybe he expects a gank is going to happen.
And he could be right, as we do see in the minimap that Nox is certainly pathing towards the spot lane. He is going to walk into the river and he's going to be spotted out. Unless the control would actually, I tell a lie, is going to deny them, so they have no idea. Invictus is going to be very patient off this one. Face trick from Kurak, he's going to realize that, oh, no, he's already gone. Recall just in the nick of time.
This is just a good read from Nox. Like, you know, like when you, I'm pretty sure that they saw him. So like when you see the bot lane still playing aggressive after seeing the jungler, it's a bit too obvious that they're playing aggressive for a reason. Like he assumes Invictus is behind him. As the ult does go wide.
Yeah, that's not the best case scenario, but the saving grace would be that Invictus has gone back to base. He was waiting patiently to see if they could snag anything, but now he's going to definitely be on the hunt for a kill. You mentioned it before, the Yomu's Ghost Blade picked up now, so Graves certainly feeling really strong about his chances to take those 1v1s. Nox still sitting on components.
Yeah, we're not too happy with having triple longsword at this point in the game, but like he does have his ult. Like he's going to have the same impact in team fights. He's just not going to be able to find that like instant burst combo onto someone. I think the top lane is going like as expected. We're just having Gnar priority like all the time. Like Cassante goes tier 2 boots. He doesn't really take damage anymore from auto attacks. As long as we're keeping priority on our side lanes and we're still just able to enable Graves to like keep invading, we might be able to see this early game snowball still.
As long as we have that pressure for him to, continue trucking on through these camps. I mean, he's up by 20 at the moment, right? So if he can get a monumental lead, that certainly looks to equal out the difference here in the mid lane. As they're going to go and try and make that play, the chains have to come out, the ignite, the disengage, and the ultimate that actually misses as he flashes afterwards. And that is a massive let off for Chirp.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Well, you know, they still choke him out, they still get pride mid, you know, all about focusing on the positives still. They're gonna have access to the grubs.
That really does sound like that Sunday League soccer mum who's like, it's all right, you know, you tried your hardest, well done.
You should be proud of yourself for coming this far.
Yeah, you showed up, and that's the main thing, mate. Did you have fun? Yes, mum. Where's my free cheeseburger now? That's how it do be, but let's have a look what I can look to try and find as a second place prize. They don't get the kill, they get the pressure, as you say. That pressure is going to be utilised to try and find themselves some Void Grubs. As Tomasino is going to turn up the music, and so I can try and get a 1v1. I've had enough of all this range mismatch. So 1, 2, 3, you can't touch me! You can't flash! You can't kill me! Oh no, Tomasino! It's all gone wrong.
Just impressive to dodge so many Qs there. Honestly, like, I'll give it to Wudon instead of saying Tomasino missed. We're a positive cast today, guys. Tomasino didn't miss, Wudon dodged, okay?
Wudon's just too good. He's just too good. They've broken ankles, and they've broken your perception on how to be a caster. It's like good cop, bad cop. I didn't realize I had to play bad cop. This feels different to me, but either way, we'll see how this one fares.
You're
really going to stand
now.
up to the way. Yeah, well, that's it. No rusty here. You can't be grumpy. We need to fill that void. Let's see what happens here in the bot lane now, because we talk about these CS leads. I feel like 20 is the magic number. It's been found in all the right places.
Yeah, we're just seeing like a little bit of a snowball from what's happened earlier on in the game. Like Zai was forced off the turret, like didn't get access to the farm when they were getting the grubs. We'll see if the Varus is able to snowball the lead he has though. I feel like they're not really going to look to do too much until he gets balked, but his gank is coming in bot. Graves is around.
Certainly is. The bouncy board and knock back really to start things off. Nox is on the hunt. He's got one target in mind, and that is take down this Varus, but out goes that hostile takeover. Nox realizes that my team is not here to back me up. They literally cannot do anything. So jumping into the sky goes Hooper, rips back the feathers, and tells Wudon to have a nice day.
Very close in the mid lane. But honestly, another winner of this is Tomasino. Like, he does have free access to that top turret with 3 gloves. He's going to get damage done. Zaya did blow ult here, so we'll see if Invictus does want to go forward.
It's on vision. They definitely know that he's here. 2 walls definitely confirm that it is, in fact, a Grave. That's not a clone. He's going to get locked in place. The flash actually nearly into the waiting arms of Chirp there as the ult comes out from Fino, making sure that nobody's going to fall on down on this occasion. And with everybody low on mana, there's no chance that they're going to go for an overforce here. With Dragon spawning, Invictus is actually going to respawn, or rather recall, in the pit.
Almost think that Invictus played that way too safe. I think that like with the flash, the Renata W, that if Zayas did go in there, he is going to do an insane amount of damage and almost kill everyone there. But he did decide to use the flash early.
Maybe feeling the pressure of the score, the series, the implication of what this head-to-head matchup could offer.
Yeah, it definitely does get to you. Like, I can't admit, like, that, like, very tough points. You don't want to, like, it's a flip. You don't have to do that, but, like, you could, you know? So, like, he's probably in the mindset, like, I'm fed. Like, I can take over this game if I just, like, play slow, do my job.
Yeah, I don't need to do anything too crazy right now. I know that I'm strong. I just need to take the calculated risks. And that one may be a little bit too far for him. He is 3-0, and the rest of his team now is looking to try and up the ante and get as strong as him as the Ludens comes out. The Blood of the Rune King now completed for Reela, but not without Fury answering back with some strong skills of their own. They've got the Ardent Sensor. They've certainly got themselves a Storm Surge as well. When Chirp looks to try and engage things off, not going to find what he's after, but it doesn't mean that Nox is going to start as well. As Chirp hijacks away the Renata ultimate, doesn't find anything. The self-casting the bailout, but the kill's not quick enough, so he doesn't survive. A little bit too late there from Kurak.
A couple more seconds and that Renata would have been up just earlier, and if he got that Renata ult off, that could have been a completely different fight.
It certainly could have been. It's a fadeaway ult as he falls on down. That was his demise, and there was no Real opportunity for them to get a kill with them that far back as Rilla jumps in. Layers damage on towards Nox, and Fury finally gets his number and takes down Chirp for 30 seconds. Without a jungler, what do they do now?
That's what he needs, exactly what he needs. He's completed his item, he full rotation styles and just takes him off the map. Rilla also has his balk, and you saw the damage he was putting out to Zin there. Good job by Kanga to know that they can still fight that down numbers because they don't have ultis.
Certainly got their timers working, that support furiously spamming, copy-paste on those numbers in the chat, making sure they know what to play for, and they found that moment and executed it really, really nicely. Let's see if they can actually translate this into a second objective as they work their way towards the top of the map and really make Nox's life a bit of a living hell.
You know what, honestly, like, we got to shard support sometimes because I was a lazy player. I didn't time summons. I always just relied on, you know, Aladoric to do that job for me.
The GOAT,
So,
yeah. Whenever I saw like
thanks,
Aladoric
guys.
streams or any support play streams, I just felt sorry for them, man. They're just doing math on the fly whilst having to, like, you know, be a therapist for this, the rest of their team. Mentals in check, wards all placed. It's a tough life.
I do the classic, like, I ping the flash, and then when someone's like, oh, does he have flash? And I press Z and I scroll up, and then I see, oh, it has been 5 minutes. Nope.
Yeah, quick
lazy.
napkin math. Oh, no, it hasn't. Nah, you're right, mate. You can make that play. I give you permission.
You can gank my lane. Have you ever done the classic, like, oh, he has no flash, come gank, but, like, he actually does to, like, bait your jungler?
Oh, yes, I have. And then they come, and then it happens, and they get pissed, and then you probably get muted.
Yeah, but, like, you blew their flash and you choked my lane. Like, you won my lane. It's a win-win.
And then you're like, see, it doesn't have flash now, guys. And look at that point. It's going to be insanely passive-aggressive, as I'm sure it probably is in this game as well. You can see that both teams are trying keen to find a fight, but almost like waiting for the opposition to make that misstep.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit more of a quieter game. Graves is just going to constantly want to, like, cycle his camps, keep growing this lead. Like, he's getting extremely strong. Not really much happening because it's double range support, so we don't have those, like, Nautilus hooks going out. I think we're just going to be waiting until the objective spawns, or maybe they want to collapse on the bot side, as you do see Rifu in the bush.
Let's go for the one shot. He's looking for the damage. Oh, the change just missed. Nice to stall back afterwards to prevent Chirp finding any clap back on that occasion. But Nox is in the area and might look to do just that now. The punishment is real. The flash instantly coming on out. The chains agonizingly close, but the knock-up gets it done. The TP comes in, and Wooden can be in a bit of trouble right now. He needs to hit Mega right here and right now. He jumps across, out of range. Surely he gets knocked. Oh, yes, he does in the end. He missed the bolt, and for a second I thought, no way. He does make it a 1-for-1.
Yeah, we'll probably see Woodon stay around bot here as well to, like, hit the turret. Oh, he is going for the recall. Never mind. Mid lane is open though because they are rotating around the map to try cover as much as they can. But Woodon has decided to go for the quick recall to cover top lane after his TP. He won't have TP available for this dragon while Thomasino will, so we'll see how they want to play the side lanes.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward there with the mismatch of Fury falling on down, Woodon TPing to cover, and then sort of Thomasino having a free range to do as he pleases. That results in Fury getting themselves the first turret of the game, opening up the map just a little bit, and looking to try and get themselves in touching distance of this gold lead that Kanga have brought up. So let's check in and see where all that gold has been distributed. As you can see right now, 3 members of Kanga all sitting firmly at the top of the table with 7,000 gold to their name. Really no surprises with a bounty, not a single kill. But he's been farming up an absolute treat with 2 assists and a bunch of CS, the most in the game. That's what you'd like to see from an on-hit Varus. You need money, you need lots of items.
Yeah, he is sitting comfy right now. As we do fail the blast over the wall. Chain does land, but unfortunately Invictus is out of range to follow this up.
Yeah, not an easy one for him to follow up on that for sure. So, once again, your favorite word, it's good tempo. You know, we'll think about the positives here. It means that they're back to base, another chance for them to open up more of this map, another tower going their way. And I think what we're really starting to see is that they're just always playing around this Graves. Wherever he is, they know he's strong. He's got the Herald, he's got the 2 items. He's got the ability to try and kill people.
Yeah, like he has these 2 items, like he's really online. He's ahead of the tempo of this game. I think that he's pretty much sitting, this is the Graves that you see in solo queue, and not the one that you expect in competitive.
Very, very different outlook to what we've usually got of Graves in competitive, that is for sure. It's all about looking to try and get as much accomplished on an individual sense as he goes back to base to pick up his own tier 2 boots to become a bit of a tank whilst dealing out criminal amounts of burst through that lethality. Black Cleaver now done by Woodon as well to try and complement the rest of that as well. So really sitting at a pretty comfortable spot, you'd have to say, if they were to invite Fury into a team fight, which is what they've been looking for and might finally be granted as Nox is the target. The ultimate goes out, but it doesn't matter. This was not enough healing from Findo to support him from afar. Tomasino drags out Refio. Where are you going? Straight back to that grey screen as the hostile takeover comes across, but it does not matter, not the right angle. And Hooper is so close to taking him down. Can't get the kill with the rip back at the feathers. Cleanses to get more uptime, but look how low Kanga are.
This was all done with Varus on the mid wave. He has free time with the turret right now, so it's not too bad. Maybe they do still want to walk in for this dragon and see what Invictus does want to do. He does. Looks like he does want to give it away.
What does he do? He does nothing. 4-0 versus 0-4, it does not matter. He's not willing to throw away this game. And look, I think credit where it's due. You know, he knows he's in a strong position. You can see fights like this, they don't need to take too much.
Yeah, like this is another one of those cases where I think that like Invictus is really freed up in this fight, and he doesn't like pull the trigger. He doesn't just go forward like Flash, abuse how strong he is. He's just playing it a bit safe. He doesn't really like want to risk the game, which is completely fine as well in its own right. But sometimes you do need to be that like clutch factor that your team needs.
Sometimes what do they say? The best defense is a better offense, right? Sometimes you just need to showcase that. Well, I don't need to be scared if I just kill you because I have so much damage. So let's go on the hunt, and that's exactly what they're doing. They found Chirp. He's not got flash. He needs another 10 seconds, but he survived the onslaught of burst. Even in, Refury chasing right after. It's not enough to get taken down. I tell you what, this Silas is like a cat with like 9 lives.
He's just barely living all these engages, which is honestly very good for him. Like he's done well to like get to this point in the game. This is where I think like Silas starts to power spike. He's finally getting those items that are very strong for him. This is honestly, this patch has been like a silent blessing for Silas outside of laning phase. I think that like your first item got nerfed because nothing really works with Silas, but every other item that you build on him is just significantly stronger now.
Silas always been one of those interesting champions where you're building a little bit of durability, but yeah, insanely strong as a result of as well. The AP scaling is always a bit interesting when you do a bit like a support ultimate, for example. You're sort of like, hey, this actually does damage. I'm not used to like getting one shot by like a Leona ult, for example. Like that's a little bit crazy, but certainly has a few good ultimates to try and take in this game. We've seen him use the hostile takeover to good success. He's surprised if the Graves ult would come out very shortly as well, as a bit of deja vu actually occurs at this exact same position. Reader with the flash forward, literally 2 inches to make sure that Chirp is forced to go away. The Zonius comes out, the TP to back him up from Tomasino, as Kanga are routed out of the enemy jungle right up to that top lane and concede all that pressure in mid.
For how much Chirp is getting caught, he is doing an insane amount of work. He's just always constantly chunking them out, living, wasting their tempo. Like you see Kanga constantly just like basing, running top side, trying to find a pick, not succeeding, recall, repeat. Like this happens quite a few times in a row now, and like we see stuff like the Xayah is caught up in farm, if not overtaken, which is very promising for them based on what happened in laning phase. Incredibly
promising. This is the stability you were talking about and what you were hoping for them to try and achieve to get out laning phase with, right? That Hooper would actually be a real threat. Would have enough items under his belt that the Featherstorm would be the get-up or the escape plan, like the insurance idea, but wouldn't necessarily need to be burnt straight away because there was damage to dish out with that Kraken Slayer. Bolstered by the rest of what he's working his way towards. Kanga position himself in the mid lane. It feels like we've been stuck in mid for like the last 5 minutes, really wrestling over, can we put Chirp back to base, or can we get this turret finally?
Yeah, they are gripping up for this turret, as they do hit the Renata onto Varus, and he does an insane amount of damage to his teammate.
Yeah, he's actually just taking Invictus down super low, and he's got to either clear some camps or go back to base again. It's completely thwarted their plans of finally taking down this tier 1. Like I say, they've been here for such a long time. They want to open the map, they want to expose more ganking angles, they want to make it easier for them to contest these major objectives.
My one concern for Kanga at this point in the game is LeBlanc is solo AP, and she has not been finding the resources right now. Like, I think she's fallen very far behind the clock in terms of what items she should be having at this point in the game. And as you can see, like a huge amount of armor is coming out from Fury, and like this is going to make it very hard for Reela and Invictus to do damage.
Yeah, you do need that sort of trade-off, or that passing of the baton, right, from Invictus to Refury to say, look, I got all this accomplished with my Fed lethality build early on, but we do need an AP damager to really up the ante now. So far behind in the CS, almost a support at this point when you compare what he's like to the rest of his team in Woodon and Reela. So been unlucky a few times, not been able to convert those kills. Certainly has been one of those cases of inches not always adding on up as Nox jumps in and says, goodbye Reela, your job is done, but then he survives. Bailout is just OP, and Nox has been completely baited to stare at his KDA and think, how has it all gone so bad?
we've seen it time and time again. This bailout is doing so much in these games. It's just very well played by them. As they do.
No. This, I don't even need to say anything. I don't even need to say anything. We all saw it. We were all thinking the same.
Worth Cassante, no flash.
Positivity tally. Smile.
Ooh, very close. Chirp does have the Nara ult, so he does have the angle if he wants it.
Yeah, how much are Fury willing to try and force this one? The timing's a little bit awkward for them because as the Dragon spawns, so does Reela. So it's not as if they can really convert this 5v4 advantage into much more than just pressure and good vision control. That seemingly is the play right now as they look to attend 2 lanes, push those waves up before they go for the objective standoff.
Yeah, I don't really expect Tango to want to walk in here. As you can see, like, they're opting into top side. It's very hard to, like, base check at this point. I don't think, like, I think if LeBlanc doesn't have setup, the champ doesn't really function. Like, you can't really find angles to poke people. But we will see what they want to do.
You certainly will do. Another Dragon goes down. Fury now sitting on a potential soul point to look forward to, which would be exciting. Chirp still with the Nara ultimate available for him. He's going to try and drag himself into the throw of things. Once again, very, very close. Fury hunting for a target to try and execute down. Chains again missing. It's been a tough life for him. Trying to hit these chains. The smoke screen goes up. They're trying to hard force this one. Has to flash in to start it all off. Kurek unable to find what he's after with that handshake. And his ultimate, once again, very close to being available.
Maybe Kangaroo is starting to feel the pressure. I feel like they're trying to force fights. Like, they feel like they're going to get outscaled or, like, they can't really function if this game continues to go on.
Yeah.
They're trying to force these fights that are just really, really hard to start. I think that they should be feeling pretty comfy based on how the game's going. Like, there isn't a significant scaling advantage for either team. I think that, like, it just comes down to execution in the end. Like, you could consider Graves and Varus at the end of the game, like, extremely strong. But then again, you have a Xayah, and we've all seen, like, what that champion do at the end of the game.
Certainly can. I mean, as you say, it feels a little bit panicky and maybe not taking full stock check of the fact that you are, at least from a gold sense, still ahead in this game. And yes, whilst your LeBlanc is fairly behind and is your sole source of AP, when given a chance, and certainly in tandem with Invictus, they will be able to kill somebody. Now, whilst Chirp is, you know, an abnormality to that and has survived countless occasions, I'm curious to see how Kanga want to try and play this, because if they are going all desperation mode, then surely you just start up a Baron dance and force a fight there.
Yeah, I also think it does tie into the fact that, like, Fury keep getting away with murder. Like, Kanga probably feel like they should have gotten a lot more kills from these picks that they've been getting. So maybe the panicky gameplay is, like, tied into the frustration that they've been feeling. But I don't really expect to see them start Baron, as they are going on to Nar top lane.
The world's longest, most anticlimactic fight. 2 bruisers bashing each other down. Nothing really more to witness there, not even the junglers. They look at it, they were in the area and say, yeah, nah, I'm not keen on that one. Nothing really doing. So side lanes, now the major focus as we're fast approaching the 30-minute mark. Both games actually have been pretty long.
Yeah, these games have been hitting above average, I'm pretty sure. Also, something to touch on, like, based on these lane setups, is LeBlanc is bot with no Ignite. So we'll see if Chirp does want to base and use his TP up towards the Baron. Maybe they do want to force something with a 5v4 advantage.
Either side, not too convinced that they want to make a play, not really take too many risks as well. And it might sound kind of crude, but it almost feels like this is one of those matchups like we had in the past. Like, it was like a Mammoth Gravitas that was either like super late game, crazy upsets, like a Baron steal, or a, as we just saw before, like the base race, or just like a kill per minute. It was one or the other, never anything different between those two. And this is certainly what it feels like this one is shaping up to be as well, because there's that calm before the storm. Everybody's farming, they're working towards that 3rd item, and I think if we can hit that break point first, then they say, look, this is the hill we die on. And I'd imagine that's probably in the next 2 minutes for the soul point.
Yeah, you pretty much see, like, the 3 completed items on most carries from Kanga. They're feeling really comfy right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do want to start forcing something. The Fury carries still don't really have their huge items yet, but this Cassante in the top lane is extremely strong. Like, he has 3 items that make him extremely tanky versus auto attackers. We'll have to see, like, if he's going to be able to survive these fights.
Please, can we get this game long enough that the Jack Show can come online as well, or we can see a 200 resistant AD carry just shredding people down, like actually just 1v9ing, but they're not dying. It's broken, and then with tandem with Renata, I mean, the bailout probably doesn't even need to be required.
Yeah, like, honestly, I don't know if I want to watch what this Varus is going to do when he gets his full build. It's quite frustrating to watch, but, you know, also when Xayah does hit at breakpoints, like, that champion can absolutely take over the game. The only real threat on her as it goes towards late game is going to LeBlanc, but as we can see, like, Reef Fury isn't really finding the angles. He doesn't really have the items. He doesn't really have the threat this game.
There he is sorely behind. Let's see if there is any shake up in this one, if they can try and pass across more CS to him right now as he jumps in from that side. They're going to try and take down Nox, and Nox is going to dash on in. Actually, unable to find much more than that. Someone he'll burn on reloads. He looks to try and press on forward. He's in the back line. Tomasino hot on his heels. The rip back of the Feathers are able to take down one. No Kurak, that's important. But a shutdown going the way of Invictus. The perfect game for him on this Graves. 6-0-1, but Reef Fury's gone. And Chirpa's on the hunt as the Baron does get started.
Chirp has flash. We'll see how he's going to do with Snarl.
Oh! Flash in across the road. Look at that! The Storm Surge takes down two. Chirp, you beautiful individual. He's got it all done on his own terms.
Does that count as a bomber? I think that's a bomber.
Hey!
It's so beautiful to see this item proc on the AoE. It does so much damage. Like, this is one of the new additions to Season 14. As we do go into the replay, you see that Invictus is posturing very aggressively here. He wants the priority. Swap position with the jungler. Fury comes from the side, hits the chain. Nox still does not have flash, so he's just a sitting duck here. Like, he tries his best to get out. Really well played by Woodham to hit this nice ult, but Hooper does so much damage on the back end here with the huge rip back. And as you can see, like, we already know what happens going forward. Like, they postured for the Baron, they group up, Chirp finds the flash Gnarl, and it slides out from there.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy set of circumstances. There's your ultimate, there's my flash. Good night, sweet dreams. Absolute bomber, just popped straight away like that. Easy double. And between Tomasino and Chirp, it says, don't worry, boys, we'll put you on our backs. We'll get this one done. And I'm sure Nox is just smiling whilst he's stuck in the base waiting to respawn, thinking, cheers, boys, I needed that.
He's just playing Xin Zhao and just watching his team just absolutely destroy everything around him.
He's like, don't worry, guys. I'll press my ultimate, protect you from the damage. Please just carry me across the finish line, because this has not been a game that I want to remember any time soon. But they are so strong, Tally. They've been down at a gold deficit this entire game. We're 32 minutes in. They are still down in gold. They're behind in kills as well. But it hasn't mattered, because the kills they found have been so impactful. And now they've got 3 Infernal Drakes and Infernal Soul at that too.
Yeah, Chirp has picked himself up the Sorting Hat, and he has the triple Infernal Soul, which is going to give him an insane amount of damage. He's sitting on 600 AP. I'm pretty sure this Gnarl will do almost 80% of health of anyone on the enemy team.
Yeah, if it was disgusting before, imagine what it could do right now. I'm just really keen for these teams to have another crack at the Baron and welcome, provide an invitation to say, let's just give the viewers what they want. Another wombo combo, because they love hearing us scream and shout and get crazy with it as Nox jumps in with no hesitation. Flash onto Invictus. I need that kill. I need this Graves gone. How dare you play my champion? You've died once. There's no bounty to claim this time, but I still want to send a message.
Fury is doing a good job marking Chirp here. He just wanted to make sure that he wasn't able to TP to this fight and impact it, because if he does, he's going to have an insane impact. As Fury is starting the Baron here, they have really good positioning. This is Nasty P coming in, I believe, so he's going to be on the flank with Mega, so we'll see if they're going to fight before this runs out.
Uh-oh!
Good night.
What just happened to Renato? What on earth has just happened? Deleted, never getting a chance to even try and set up and make a play. No flash, nothing. Gone before he even had a chance to blink. The Baron is gone. And Fury are really looking to try and answer to all the haters out there not believing, saying this was always going to be ours to take. It was going to be a perfect 2-0. Bans or not, we don't care. We are just better.
Don't need them. Who needs them?
Who
Not
cares?
me.
Yeah, not me. Look at us. We don't need bans. We just have the better hands. Magi is now picked up by Chirp, because he is definitely vibing out this game. 9 stacks before in the Seal, 9 stacks to Magi. He's going to really showcase to Reef Fury what a CS difference looks like.
Yeah, honestly, just really well played by Chirp this game. I keep singing his praises. He's just done a good job to navigate the ganks, and he's having an insane impact in these fights. He got gold, and he's doing an insane amount of damage with it. It's really rare to see from carry players and Oath, so I think it's a good job for him.
Great turnaround from game 1 as well. He put in a solid shift on that Corki, and is really making a strong argument to become the MVP of this entire series if they can close this one out. They've got the Baron. They're setting themselves up to try and siege these turrets in a 1v4 situation as they find themselves with Tomasino tanking up 2 members. But it's easier said than done to try and take down the Cassante, and mind you, it's a full build Cassante. He's got everything. The support hybrid build that you were mentioning.
How funny is that? You just play a tank that one-shots each other, but you also are the support. As Ronaldo does go out.
It does go out, but look what it achieved. Barely anything. The Redemption tops them completely up from all the damage they did to themselves. And the sieging continues. They've got to endure another 90 seconds of this.
Yeah, and Chirp's just sitting on the ult. Like, he saw his flash again, he has his Zhonya's. Like, if they want, he can play for the dive. But doesn't look like they're gonna go for the reset. Maybe they have items they want to buy here. I do hope to see the Crypt Bloom coming through from Chirp when he has the money for it. I think that like that paired with Silas is like really good because you're able to find that one shot into that AoE heal for your team.
Yeah, I imagine he's sitting on a bunch of money right now, just not enough to complete that item. He's got the shards, so he's halfway towards it, and then a full build Silas at this point in the game. Absolutely terrifying. It feels like the Graves has certainly fallen off a fair bit at this point, and Refury was never really able to catch up. He's been lagging behind in terms of the tempo of this game, unable to find those kills to really try and snowball the game ahead. And such a tough ask, given that he invested in this Ignite build to try and win lane. And it never really materialized into much more than that. And despite being 0-6, Nox is still the one that's leading the line, not a care in the world, saying, well, wherever I go, a charge, a knock-up, I know that my team is there to back me up.
Yeah, and also another like Season 14 change that isn't really documented is like, it's very niche, but some champs want to go clear the plus LDR, but you're unable to build double armor pet items anymore, so see if they are able to take Xante down mid though.
No, don't tell me, in a 1v3 situation, he shreds off his resistances and nearly takes down somebody in the process. Look at all the space Tomasino has just provided for his team. Don't worry, boys, I'll die, but I'll give us an inhibitor. That is a worthwhile trade if I've ever seen one. The question now is, can Kanga get anything more? They need bounties, they need help, they need divine intervention, because Baron is about to be up, or rather Elder, sorry, in a minute.
The redemption.
And that's what they need.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately he dies there, but getting that bottom inhibitor is like an insane map pressure that Fury is able to pick up. Did you see if there'll be anything more around bot lane?
What would you like to see from Fury at this point? I suppose we can play both sides of this. For Fury, you're thinking they're up by 4k gold. This is their game to lose right now. The Elder would be almost too obvious of a play. They don't need to necessarily do that. They could just wait for the supers to crash in through bot lane and play it in textbook fashion. But then for Kanga, how do they get themselves back into this? Is it once again the classic, just fight your way out of harm's trouble?
Yeah, it really is like fight your way out of harm's trouble. I want to see Fury like posture on this dragon with like Chirp in a flank position. I think that Xante is playing front line, and if they hit that front to back with the Silas flank coming off probably mid lane, it's really hard to see them losing.
Certainly is. There's the Crypt Bloom. That's what you're after. A full build Silas now there to complement that of Tomasino. Fury are at peak potential. And they've really settled into this series, feeling very comfortable about how they find themselves right here and right now. Fast approaching 40 minutes into this one we are. As that fight does inevitably break on out, but the Crescent Guard has been broken and burnt very early on. And as it drops on down, the piercing arrow to kill. No! Yes, actually! We thought the heal from finals enough, but no, the collateral damage from afar was there to get it done. In jumps Tomasino, ripping back Invictus. He flashes, he dashes, but he does not survive. Double for Chirp. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might be all she wrote.
Chirp accidentally killed Reeler. He did that much damage, he just accidentally killed him.
Oh, my bad. You're just a casualty of war. You've just fallen down in the process. I'm just too strong. What a first world problem that would be there for Chirp, as he's going to go hand in hand with the rest of his team to say, Refury, what on earth are you doing? You do not exist. You do not match me. This was always us. Who let them cook? Well, I'll tell you what, they let them cook, as they are frying up an ace into their first victory here in the LCO.
Yeah, really good bounce back from week 1 by Fury. I think that like they showed a lot of good things this game and the last game. Really well played by Chirp this series. Like I think without a doubt, like he's going to be our MVP.
It certainly seems to be that way. What a phenomenal performance from him and the rest of their team to really rally around and have a single mind as to, okay, in that game 1, base race, that is the way we want to win this one. And in game 2 as well, to say we don't need to worry about how the early game goes. We bring it back in the mid to late game, and that's exactly what they did. And Fury will be feeling very good now that they can finish week 2 on a W and take all 3 points. We'll jump to a quick break, and when we return, it's our second series of the night as Antic go up against Ground Zero.
也是可以相当于是一个全新的考验嘛，因为毕竟中野联动、上野联动都是一个全新的磨合。
是。感觉中野联动 ，Popo 和恒应该是问题不大，因为毕竟两个人感觉在前面的思路还是非常一致的。因为你在之前看到 Popo 还是在前期以一个发育为主，而恒的话在前期也属于在起亚路想去找一些机会的。他gank下路的一个次数为主， 所以我觉得在前期的话，感觉 Fofo 和恒应该是想法比较统一的。
而且目前地图的一个变动的话，也是让中路的选手可以有更多的空间去打一个对线。之前可能更多的你要急于去抢线，然后再辐射到边路和河道，但现在因为整个河道的拓宽，让中路选手更多能够专注一下自己中路的线权。
你看这几个版本的改动啊，从去年的改动到现在，整个地图改动都是想让中路玩家在影响性稍微小一些。你看之前兵线的改动，除了第一波线以外，剩下的所有兵线都是同一时间到达战场的。那这个时候中路的一个清线再去游走的一个能力就会大大的打折扣。而现在又改动了一个中路的一个草丛去 gank 那个位置的一个距离，让打野玩家很难 gank 中路。其实还是更多的想让中路玩家好好的在中路发育。
是，这样的话也是可以让一些可能前期比较弱势的中路英雄也有喘息的空间了，不会像之前那样，你一被压线，你等于说所有的东西都丢了。
你看现在能够在中路我们比赛场上能看到的，能够配合打野的英雄啊，在中路方面好像就有一个妖姬还不错，对吧？然后以及 Nico 还行，那其他的话基本都是一个发育型的一个英雄，比如沙皇啊，或者其他的阿卡丽，以及在最近我们看到有几场隔壁赛区玩这个飞机，对吧？都是以一个发育为主的。
这个还是跟在路人局当中比较对比较不同的一点，在路人局里面还是比较提倡大家自己去什么操刀，像
恐怖飞镖人，
小鱼人，甚至是阿卡丽这种自己 carry。
相信最近有很多 AD 玩家已经被这个什么小鱼人啊，或者恐怖飞镖人已经秒得泣不成声了。
是，恐怖如斯。
主要他现在那个风暴狂涌，确实对于你后续的增伤还是太恐怖了，啊，基本是一管血一个差不多2技能给秒了就。但我们昨天也看到了，那个阿卡丽的使用，确实在后期其实对于一个近这种 ADC 来讲的时候很难招架的，
真的扛不住。
而且对于2个中单选手啊，不管是 Fofo 也好，还是 Andrew 也好，他们其实使用阿卡丽都有一定的心得，所以看今天有没有机会在中路出现阿卡丽这么一个选择。
可能在红色方有机会可以后手出。
Andrew 在新的赛季看一下能够到达什么样的高度。
小方的话，他是比较擅长使用 NOC 的，所以在目前这个版本依旧有发条加 NOC 带球过人的这么一套中野的联动打法。
昨天我们也看到这套组合的一个使用打法，而且在之前也可以追溯到德杯，然后世界赛，其实也看到过这样一个打法。其实更多的还是要看这个发条的一个配合。其实，
那究竟双方的第一场 BP 将如何进行一个博弈？我们也是进入到双方的 BP 画面，可以看到。
有点基本都是搬的这个版本比较强的一些射手位。
对，有些寒冰是放不太出来的。
All right, it's OMG Believers time. Let's see.
也是选择直接办掉。
Dude, Abel got benched. There's no one on the squad anymore. It's Cube, Angel, PB God. Abel is benched. Starry is replacing him, and Zhao Feng is here.
黄子卫、赵信都在。
还在想。复仇之矛也在外边哦，还是选择搬了。那这样的话是等于办了5个射手啊，然后再办一个打野。哇，那其实这样针对下路点还是非常多的。OMG 一选，现在长手的辅助已经很少了，看看怎么去做选择。
中路的话，
Sometimes when I went to Bilibili, there was an option to translate the page, but I don't know where it is.
里面也是非常好的，那的选手妖姬在昨天也是。给在边带的压制能力起到了非常足的一个作用。
没错，
这个版本虽然说设计师紧急上线的一个热补丁啊，对于 AD 妖姬砍了一大刀，但还是很好用。兰博
提到 WeWorld 最近也有在练习的兰博。
是的，看样子今天 WeWorld 的第一场这个主基调还在上路想去偏阳打线哦，最后还是想一下等等再出列娜塔。这也确实在下路没有了寒冰之后一个比较好的选择。但现在能搭列娜塔的话，德莱文是一个不错的选择。
最近可以看到，其实软辅的优先级又会提上来了。主要还是为了加强一下两边下路的对线情况。
而且现在硬辅游走的时候，其实你的机会也蛮少的。
对。再加上比较难配合上打野去进行 gank 了，所以更多的要加强对线。而我们之前提到丰富的招牌英雄沙皇也是直接缩下。
沙皇对妖姬一个经典的对决了，但是这个剑姬现在这么早出吗？
先亮一下，
感觉很自信啊，亮一亮，但应该不太会出，因为现在。 不如先出一个上单好用啊，因为刚才我们也说了，在这个版本里面上单还是一个打架的主基调。如果能够先出一个能够推线厉害的上单，那还是非常不错的。最后给 Cube 选择了兰博。
来看 WE 这里选择什么样的下路？
本来他一开始其实是可以维鲁斯加列娜塔一起拿的，但他选择了用沙皇，这样要考虑一下下路怎么去对这个维鲁斯了。 厄斐琉斯也是 Prince 的一个招牌啊，他是生涯里面玩的相当多的一个英雄了。
那其实这两个双 C 选下来，已经确定了 WE 在这场的一个主基调了。就以发育打后期沙皇铁桶阵。是的，就还是要拖后期为主啊 ，WE 这里。而你看 OMG 在前期是一个猛攻型的一个阵容，进攻性很强。
对，尤其他们在打野方面，如果 WE 不去封锁一下，比如类似于盲僧这种进攻型的打野，他们在前期其实还是挺难度过的。
是，这里要针对一下小方的英雄池。
哎，在外面现在有在前期进攻性比较强的，也有盲僧啊、赵信这种都还在。 办了巴德，因为现在强体的改动，所以导致巴德其实也是蛮吃香的。而对于 OMG 来讲的话，看一下要不要去针对横的英雄池。办了波比。现在对于 W 这个阵容，他们在后面的选择里面是一定要把打野的在前期的 gank 能力要放到最主要的一个位置，
而且他们需要补一定的前排和先手的英雄。
是 W 最后一班是要继续针对 BP 高的呢？我觉得还是可以搬一个小方的英雄池里面的。
他们可以搬一个，然后自己先拿一个，搬了位。
而对于 OMG 来讲的话，现在在外边好的节奏型打野的话，就盲僧和赵信，对吧？那如果就是再搬的话，可能对于自己选择来讲要少一个。
看一下像王子赵信这样的开团型的英雄，要不要封锁？搬了大树，
还是怕那套体系吧。 因为毕竟 W 这套如果选到大树之后，他们在打团、打阵地战里面还是比较厉害的。
就5v5会非常的难以处理。
是因为列娜塔配合大树来讲还不错，他们这个体系。最后赵信现在也亮出来，这个版本也是得益于巨九改动完之后啊，他现在第一件做巨九，不管是刷野还是打团以及切后排能力都是非常顶的。
没错。
贾克斯，因为看了一下，最近小方也在排位里面用过贾克斯打野，所以我觉得这个亮一下没锁定，但也有可能去打野啊。最近很多选手都喜欢用贾克斯打野，那确定了，那感觉这样应该是贾克斯打野，然后兰博上，妖姬中这么一个分路。来看一下 OMG 最后一手，
最后补个先手。那 OMG 这套阵容的话，其实打小规模的地图战也是比较强势的。
是。
后期的话，拥有单带的能力。
哇，这名小将今天上来就给大家展示一下贾克斯打野，感觉还是很期待。因为贾克斯其实在英雄克制来讲的话，他是非常克制平原型英雄，比如赵信这种的。其实在野区碰到贾克斯是非常头疼的。所以我觉得对于野区的碰撞来讲，今天对于横应该是在前期稍微规避一下贾克斯。
那横这边最后。 还是要补一个能够帮助队友找节奏的。
补了赵信吧。而对于 Wayward 来讲的话，补了一个乌迪尔。这个版本在上路可能说打兰博比较好打，而且在之前德玛西亚杯我们见到过乌迪尔去打兰博一个对局。两边阵容敲定啊。其实对于 W 来讲的话，刚才谷谷也聊到，更多的是一个往后期去拖，然后看能不能控一个资源。而对于 OMG 来讲的话，我觉得这套体系其实还是在中期比较偏向于进攻的体系了。
他们需要打一定的节奏在前期，打出一定的压制力来。
而且对于这个贾克斯来讲的话，虽然说这个英雄在前期一个找机会能力比较强，但其实这个英雄也是比较吃装备的。他是一个发育型的一个打野英雄，他需要有了3将之后，然后再有了提亚马特之后，他其实在野区才可以站得住脚。
他不管在上路还是在打野，都需要前期先发育一下。
对。 然后看看在前期有没有一些小设计吧，因为我们一直聊到对于红色方的下路在前期是比较缺少保护的，看看能不能利用这个点。
两边的第一局雪人 OMG 来到 WE 的主场，拿出来的阵容还是比较的强势的。而 WE 这里的话，则是稳定的双 C 后期兜底，慢慢的发育去运营，
也是比较传统的 WE 打法了。
是，也比较符合他们双 C 两名选手的风格。
是的，是的。而且 Fofo 这名选手和 Prince 这名选手，其实在后期的输出能力还是非常强的，就看这把 WE 能不能拖到后期了。而且这版本因为厄弗雷斯得益于装备的一个改动之后，他其实还是蛮厉害的，所以也是在这个14.1的热补丁给他砍了一刀。
热补丁里面其实紧急削弱了挺多14.1强势的点。
相信大家印象最深的还是提莫。
提莫是
当时配合这个
提莫制霸
残翼以及风暴狂涌，应该是一个蘑菇就差不多可以秒你半管血了。主要这个版本还是穿甲装和一些法刺装备太强了，所以导致很多 ADC 在后期是站不住脚的。
包括你会发现现在其实，在路人局里胜率非常高，都是大乱斗出装的 MF，对吧？
是的，是的，就是那种纯刺客的一个出装。来吧，看一下今天的第一场比赛。
小鸭子，我们也是进入到双方的第一场召唤师峡谷。
这应该是中了个鱼叉。而且大家可以仔细来听的话，其实我们在这个赛季里面也做了一些音乐的改动，它是分为3个阶段。其实而且大家可以看到打峡谷先锋之后，这个音乐是鼓点比较强的，但你打大龙的时候以及打完大龙之后，其实这个音乐还是非常紧张的。
众所周知，有些人不是游戏公司，是音乐公司，
音乐做得更好是吧？也做的是相当出色。赵信应该是选择上半区开往下刷了。也是在前期可以帮助红色方的下路保护一下。选择 F6 开，这也是一个赵信比较普遍的开法。哇，他这把的话带了一个致命节奏啊！其实这个带法来讲的话，还是比较偏向于进攻性，因为正常来讲赵信都基本是带一个征服者或者是从刃。
而 Weaver 的话，则是选择绕了一下，也在对方蓝区看了一下对方开野的路线。
Weaver 的上线应该是要找一下兰博了，因为毕竟是一个乌迪尔，直接开启的 R 形态，一直在烫，一直在烫。这个换血在前期 Q 本没办法，只能去硬吃这个伤害。
还是很赚的。
是2级吃完 F6 之后，直接来到对方的半区去吃这个蓝 buff。
已经被看见了，但是第一时间 W 也过不来。
这种换野也是考虑到，其实还是想去围绕下半区去打，直接交惩戒来到下半区，看看能不能防住这个魔爪蛙啊。
对，主要是前期他们中下都有线权。
来了，想逮一下。那小方应该也知道这个讯息，直接走了。
溜了。
但是这里赵信是有红 buff 的，如果在恋战，可能赵信会黏住他，一个1技能忠诚激烈减速到，应该是要走。
因为 Angel 也是推的线往也去靠了，所以也没有选择再继续追击。
这个下路的魔爪蛙是一定要守的，因为这个魔爪蛙如果给到武器的话，你赵信的打野只能是往上半去刷，那这时候其实对于蓝色方的整个的一个战术就已经部署出来。
是。上路 Weaver 的压制力还是打出来的，也先抢到了3级。
是的。
一直在找机会就上去
变成乌龟形态，再 A 一下蹭个不灭，然后再变成鹤形态。这个也确实没什么办法，因为在前期这个英雄的换血机制就摆在那里。
而中路 Angel 在拿到妖姬之后，目前也是有抢到线权。
这个版本多兰剑虽然说改了一些属性吧，从这个全能吸血改成了一个生命偷取，但其实对于妖姬来讲还是非常吃香的。横这里到3级，看看有没有机会去反映对方的野区，但选择稳妥起见，应该是吃这个河道训练蟹了。两边的刷野树都是4组野怪，小方也到了这个位置，想看一下这个河道训练蟹能不能争夺一下。但是横是有惩戒的，小方没有惩戒，这个惩戒还差一点赚好，而且 Weaver 也过来了，这会儿打应该是不太明智的，感觉很难去争夺这个河道训练蟹。
主要还是上路 Weaver 的有绝对线权。
是的，而且自己身上是没有惩戒的，
争不了。
对。W 这里把下路线稍微卡一下，状态也是更好一点。 而可以看到现在 Story 已经回城补给了。两边在前期打野的一个小路子设计啊，都是可以看到想去围绕对方的野区做点事情，但是因为边线支援太快，所以导致小方也在前期没有取得很好的果子。
基本是一个持平的发育。
对，各自把自己的半区刷完。横在这里点一个入侵眼，看一下第二组 F6刷新的时候小方的位置。风斩电刺戳一下石头人，也发现没有刷新。哇，其实这样的话，其实对于小方来讲，在野区的博弈方面来讲是占了一组优势的啊，因为他毕竟刚才是反了一个蓝 buff， 而现在回来之后直接把野区全刷了。
中路链子链住，打一套。
现在虚空潮虫已经刷新了。
是的，5分钟。
但是这波争夺潮虫，感觉单纯来看上半区来讲，其实 W 这边是有一战之力的。
微world这里强势。
是的 ，WeWorld 现在还是属于一个强势期，而且在前期5.这个英雄的爆发也是足够高。想过来帮忙点个眼，来看一下对方打野的一个动向，要不要动这个潮虫？但赵信此时在下半区，感觉小方如果强行来动的话，得叫上块宝。想动，而且武器大师打这个潮虫的话，因为有一技能嘛，所以相对来讲没有那么伤。
主要微world其实往野区做眼的这个举动，也是让 OMG 能够得知到恒是不在上半区的。
是的，
所以他们直接选择去打。
那这样其实对于恒来讲，也就是这个版本我们刚才聊到有一个比较好的置换，对吧？你动潮虫，那我直接过来动小龙了。
因为对于他们来说，这个阵容在后期非常的强势，小龙也是不能放的内容。
是的，因为他们到后期只要能拖到3条龙的时候，其实给到左边压力还挺大的。3条潮虫全部被蓝色方给拿到，而同样 W 也是可以收获1条小龙。两边在前期其实野区的资源的置换还是挺多的。不是横这里面来找小方那波野区去偷一波，就是小方来到横的野区，看看有没有什么好的资源去拿一波。
因为线上不太好 gank， 所以只能通过这样的方式在野区进行博弈。
是的。你看现在红色方这个上路真的很难 gank，
太难抓了。这里除非是越塔。
是，或者说那种有位移的，比如男刀啊，或者说位这种英雄，抓红色方上路有点说法。两边在前期打的还是比较和平的，还是要看下一条资源的争夺。而且在兰博等级起来之后，其实 WeWorld 的压制能力就不像刚才那么强了。
中期也是 OMG 整个阵容的发力点。两边其实在补刀数上也并没有什么太大的差距。
都在等自己的低剑成型装备，妖姬还在等电刀，然后对于贾克斯来讲的话，要等一下3项。
对，然后再等接下来的地图资源，可以找机会在野区碰撞一下。
而且看看风这把怎么出吧，因为现在看到有很多沙皇也是选择直接做双攻速啊，因为现在巫妖也会在第2下提供一个50%的攻速，所以你像拉什配合巫妖也是一个沙皇不错的选择。上路在换波血啊，带了无效化法球。
但这波他是没有 TP 的，
是的，只能在塔下一会儿等回推的兵线过来了。贾克斯现在已经到6级，一个强势点，想去入侵一下野区，但这里有惩戒，直接想去开下横被开到了，而且是一个5级的横，感觉横这波只能交闪现了，往后拉交闪现赶紧跑掉，要不要交闪根呢？选择想了一下就算了。
这波有一个等级上的差距 ，PP God 是已经到达6级的。
而且小方也是到6级啊，现在6级的武器大师去打5级赵信还是随便打的。
这波也是打出了横的闪现，再加上 Iwandi 的治疗。
而且现在下半区来讲，这个蓝 buff 一反，其实对于左边来讲很舒服了。
对，野辅的联动碰撞上肯定是 OMG 这里更加强势一些，他们这个比较好联动。
慢慢发育，等下一波资源。现在小龙还有2分半， 而对于下一波潮虫的话，还有1分15秒左右刷新。下一波潮虫 WE 是一定要过来看一下，哪怕你偷1只是吧？因为偷1只其实相对来讲比较简单，它不会生成那个护盾。但如果你说6只潮虫全部给到左边的话，那其实对于边带线来讲，或者说到后期还是很头疼的，
压力会比较大一些。
哎，One
有
想来偷一下，哎呦，这个伤害还是太低了，毕竟是个辅助哦。
虚惊一场。
看到那个中程激烈的一个弹道出来，其实小方也慌了一下。这会儿打野方面的一个补刀数啊，已经是慢慢拉开了，因为刚才那波入野成功之后，现在贾克斯慢慢是把赵信那个补刀数给拉开。看能不能凭借上路的一个线权，帮助恒去反一波蓝 buff。
是的，中路这波因为也是把 Angel 给打回家的。
Cube 想过来帮忙看一下，这个血量1700血，但如果自己被定到的话有点危险啊。惩戒直接 A 完之后 ，Weber 还是非常凶，追打一套。但是这里直接小林起步，大招给上，一个横门出手打得还不错，交闪电过来拿到 First Blood， 哇哟，太深了呀 ，Weber 这追的。
而且明显感受到，就 Weber 跟恒这里没有能够沟通好，步调不一致。
就是 Weber 的这个英雄，他虚是那种怎么说呢？他并不是说能够实打实给你造成致命伤害，他其实打完一波之后，后续的一个伤害就是比较一般了。而在后面你看兰博配合贾克斯的一个伤害，就实打实可以把你致死的。
而且在这种狭小的隘口。兰博的大招太好释放了，直接撒到2个人，非常关键。
要拿6条潮虫了呀！
是，这又是一个比较大的时间节点。那刚才才说到的潮虫全部给对方拿到。我们再来看一下这波回放。
其实这里去反，我感觉还是做的不错的。但反完之后，其实追得太深，就给了 OMG 很多的机会。
感觉恒这里其实第一时间就想砍果子，跟威沃的一起走，他还等了他一下。
最后看一下不行，说哥们儿自己走吧。那这样6条潮虫啊，全部给到 OMG， 后期妖姬在边带线还是玩得很舒服的。
是。那 WE 这里想及时止损的话，只能看一下能不能控下下一条小龙。是的，
下一条小龙马上刷新了，是条风龙，感觉应该是可以拿到，因为现在贾克斯的状态并不是很好，而且身上大招也没有赚好。看一下 OMG 要不要去防守一下条小龙。
Starry 在赶紧的推线，
恒这里要等队友。下路 Prince 好在是有个蓝子刀啊，所以他可以快速把线给处理掉。
这波明显 OMG 不想这么轻易的放给 WE 啊，已经开始也给野区抢视野了。
但是这波可以看一下关键装备，现在贾克斯已经有了3项啊。贾克斯有3项，这波作战力非常强的。
Angel 还有电刀。
是的，就这波刚才恒在等队友，虽然说是一个比较稳重的选择，但其实也是等来了小方回家的一个时机。
是，而且 Starry 这里也是有幽梦的，所以在装备上面是 OMG 这里领先。
完全领先，这会儿其实是一个比较大的领先，就是一剑打这种半剑散剑。那条小龙感觉 OMG 要上大了呀。
那这样这几波节奏下来的话 ，OMG 还是很赚的，2个资源全部控到。
上路 Weber 的在等级起来之后也讨不到什么便宜，只能一直被兰博去烧烤。
包括我们其实从小地图上也可以看到，蓝色方的视野掌控着绝大部分的地图啊。
这把是一个炼金龙魂，
下路还可以吃镀层。
而且现在在龙魂只要确定之后啊 ，buff 就可以进行一个共享机制了。
是。
而且在这个虚空 buff 之后，全员都可以共享。其实，在后期来讲，去争夺 buff 也是个非常重要的点。
又可以围绕 buff 进行组织那种小规模的架。
是的。就这种时间点，其实你边线去拿一个蓝 buff 或红 buff， 还是对线挺舒服的。
那其实 OMG 进行到这个阶段，大家都有成装的时候，开始要慢慢的给压力了。
而且你看现在这个6条虚空潮虫 ，Angel A 2下塔，这个塔一层已经掉了。确实，对于推塔的一个速度来讲，帮助还是太大了。
是。
看一下什么时候恒能把自己的巨9做出来啊！赵信这件装备还是绝对的核心装备。OMG 凭借自己的一个野区的优势啊，再加上一些小运营，这会儿的经济已经是稍微领先2000多块钱了。 峡谷先锋马上刷新了。现在对于 OMG 来讲，他们是有一定的线优，可以先把线推过去，然后过来看这个峡谷先锋。
可以先抢中线。 河道线也可以控下。那 WE 这里的动向的话，是想让 Prince 这里再更多的发育一下，在下路。
应该是要放了。现在 Prince 是一个绿白刀，推塔速度确实还不错。
主要还是他们目前上中野的作战能力是没有 OMG 这里强势的。
是的。
就沙皇这里一直也没有办法可以回家更新装备。
感觉只能围绕下面去打一下了。横这里还被之前给看到了，想去反一个红 buff， 但没有戳到。 这个是风斩电刺戳歪了，应该是。
但这个时间节点的话，想要去抓 OMG 下路是非常困难的，所以也只能帮助下路给点压力。
感觉现在 OMG 已经完全玩起来了，就是现在这个地图资源，还有一些这种地图的视野，被 OMG 是完全给掌控了。
是，其实还是因为阵容的原因吧，就 WE 这里选择到的这一套阵容，在前中期的时候，你配合上打野各条线，都挺难做到事情的。 很难联动起来，
而且我感觉这个阵容到后期，如果能够发育到差不多30分钟的时候，其实 WE 应该是有一战之力的，因为毕竟他们双 C 还10打10的嘛。兰博也有了自己的低剑橙装啊，裂隙制造者。这把小方的发育是真的挺好的。 学到钻头，再加一个3项，在打架能力来讲，现在绝对是1等1的。
等级上也是领先的。
而且只要是现在妖姬有了电刀之后，他就可以开始自己的边带线之旅了。
无限单带。而且地图上面帮他做的视野也非常的深入啊 ！PP 告的也是去到对方的蓝区，把野区点亮。
但这里想来看看上路有没有机会吗？感觉应该是很难吧，毕竟是个兰博。
而且目前整个上半区毕竟是没有什么地图资源的，
是
这里最多只是反阻拦，很难弥补整个经济上面的差距。啊 ，Q 宝这里直接清线，很稳，
一点机会都不给，就大招直接清线，然后你没什么想法。
想抓有大招的兰博还是挺难的。
招先锋了，要直接撞一头。
战斗爽。
这个骑上去，你撞完之后会有很多的虚空小蠕虫。 而且现在撞完之后还可以再刷新一头，
是，
但要小心，就是我觉得小方这里做的不错，因为先锋现在是如果你在塔墩的后面撞，哎，直接被惩戒掉了。但这里横也是被打出个大招，就是如果现在你这个先锋是在撞完第1头之后，后面塔墩子如果直接骑上去的话，是有大概率会撞歪的，所以是要等一下，等他往前走一走再去骑是比较好的。
W 想找这波机会给上塔压力也很难啊。主要是快宝这里清线非常快，而且 OMG 其他人也在河道第一时间可以支援下来。那这样的话，去上路没有能够做到事情，而这个时候 Angel 在下路无限单带，中下全部被拔掉了防御塔。
是，现在对于 W 来讲的话，确实是一个蛮难受的局势，只能看一会儿双 C 的装备发育成型之后，等下一波小龙团能不能把这个输出给打出来。
他们这阵容只能打正面的5v5，
对，
而且要保着双 C 去打。
因为赵信在前期没有太好的节奏情况下，在中后期只能提供一个大招的一个说防御属性这么个作用。
但目前 OMG 可以凭借自己中下2路的线优，直接去动第3条小龙。这塔都直接带到2塔来了。
是因为现在这个阵容去限制 Angel 的一个单带是很难去限制的，
没有人能抓他，
没有什么英雄能够去把他抓死。
是，他太灵活了。
那这样 OMG 也是轻而易举的把自己的第2条小龙直接收入囊中。
留不住的。
乌迪尔这个英雄就属于是前期对线可能是玩的比较舒服，但中后期转线的时候，这个英雄就略显笨重了。
打到18分钟的时间点，双方仅只爆发了1个人头。
更多的还是一些野区的小资源的运营和置换。
是，这里也是给到竞技时机的数据啊，55的攻击力，18穿甲，5%的移速。
这个装备还是不错的，很多不管是打野选手还是说 AD 选手都会来选择去做这个装备，它的收益还挺高的。它有点类似于之前神话装备的这个幽梦的被动效果。
而现在真正的幽梦的话，因为降价的原因，也变得性价比非常高。那它的收益者的话，男枪、女枪，什么双枪都在这个装备的加持下面又快乐起来了。
是的，跑图比较快。
哎，
想来去3个人把这个下鱼塔给运营掉，应该是可以的。当然，小方这个位置应该会被蹲一波，贾克斯有反击风暴
，W 没刮到。
要撤走了。
那 W 也是在这个时间点，其实这几波是抱团型的去推进边路，把上下两路的外塔是拔掉了。那这样的话也缩小一点经济差距。
是，两边打的都是不急不躁的啊，在前面还是主打一个运营和去置换资源。
是。
其实这样对于 W 来讲也可以接受，因为毕竟在前期是有一条小龙的投资的，所以他们拖到后期压力是肯定不大的。
对。
而妖姬第2件装备应该要选择感电3轮刃啊，也是大家俗称的3轮车。这个装备其实对于妖姬来讲提升也还不错，因为它毕竟有个充能的赢能效果。
这个装备性价比也比较高，2900。
很多打野也会喜欢出它，比如凯隐啊、螳螂都会选择做。
是。
现在开始自己的单带，就你过来防守，只能说把这个兵线去清一清。你要真的去抓这个妖姬的话，还是太难了。1没有锁头，2没有什么太高的伤害去和爆发秒掉它。
20分钟大龙刷新，现在 OMG 利用中上的推线，把整个大龙附近的视野已经全部占住了。
哎 ，TV God 这里被拉了一下，有点危险，但是选择反开
2个，但是
开到2个，但是有个星月护卫，而且大招也给完，应该是要撤退了。妖姬还在带，
主要第一时间没有人能够跟啊，那这样的话是大招的置换，而在下路的话，两边上单皇城 PK，但是你会发现在这个时间点，已经是不同往日，已经不能像前期对线的时候那么为所欲为了。
百波味的这个极步都给烤出来了。这把男爵是一个盘踞男爵啊。这个盘踞男爵就它的一个独有的效果，就是它会生成一个类似于无形铁手的一个小范围的一个锥形，把你拉过来。而且这个锥形的控制，有的时候还可以用来控制抵消。
Fofo 也是做到自己的2件套。双方的经济差并没有拉开特别大，依旧维持在3000块2-3千。
现在 OMG 是保着 Angel 把这个上路一塔给带掉就可以了。
是，因为是可以点掉的。打一下，小兵直接带掉。
现在 W 也确实没办法，只能发育，就是哪边保着妖姬，而对于 W 来讲的话，也只能去防守妖姬，看看能不能找个机会去抓抓他。
但 OMG 这边也不敢直接去动大龙的。
但这个草丛有点危险啊，对于王得和恒来讲。
也很知道，所以抱团往上走。
这把只能说两边打的都是很运营，21分钟、22分钟只爆发了1个人头，看得出来大家新赛季还是打得比较保守的。现在沙皇2件套已经基本到了一个自己的发力期了。而对于 OMG 来讲的话，他们这把赢的方式最简单，就是通过妖姬的单带，然后给正面压力就可以。
感觉大龙双方一时半会都动不起来，主要要看一下下条刷新的小龙。
现在其实可以看到，就是在边线的压力啊 ，Weber 已经比较大了。刚才那波是被烤出了一个极步，
而且对位等级已经落后了2级。
这也是兰博打乌迪尔的一个正常对线嘛，在前面可能说是压着兰博去打，而到了11级之后啊，基本兰博是可以跟你 all in 到底的。
是。现在3线都是蓝色方线优。
是的。毕竟现在一个是有妖姬的一个带线，而另外一边是实打实打不过这个兰博。
那这样的话 ，OMG 还是可以继续给上半区 W 边路的压力，但在野区上，体育高的还是非常灵活的。
是的，在野区想逮一个落还是太难了。
然后其余人可以准备往小龙那边靠了。
感觉就是只能一会儿看 Prince 这个厄斐琉斯以及 Fofo 的沙皇在团战里面站出来了。
其实双 C 发育都没有受到太大的影响。主要就看有没有时机让他们输出了。
本场的第4条路已经刷新了，看样 W 是想要断接，一个抬到了，但是大招已经交了出来，在这个位置应该是杀不死恒的一个链子链到了恒这个位置应该是要被打一套，但还好并没有打到太多的血量。但小龙好像已经要被处理掉了，
这个龙应该是要被 rua 掉了。
这个血量，哦呦，没有办法去抢，最后也是被武器大师稳稳的给收入当中。那这样 team 抬龙啊，对于 OMG 来讲，他们手上的一个胜利的把柄又多了一个，只能对于 OMG 来
加了。
是的，就是对于他们来讲的话，就是到了后期，不管是通过这个边带，还是整个的一个大龙小龙 B 团，都是让 W 很难受的。
那这波 W 毕竟损失了龙，找机
大
会把
招直接
中路
清线
推了。
但是应该也想去逼一下伤害，而沙皇立个太阳圆盘，帮忙做一个防守。
这波主要还是因为 OMG 3线兵线的优势，所以第一时间可以去把小龙给 RA 掉。WE 毕竟过不来，
只能说两边打的真的很有耐心，都是在互相去试探，交个大招或者交个小技能之类的。
因为打正面 OMG 也是
有点虚，
对，没有那么的舒服的。
他也怕说这个沙皇和厄斐琉斯到后期真的成型之后，团战打不太过，那在前期的运营优势基本都白费了。
要靠兵线去拉扯运营。
对，其实我觉得这把 OMG 他们最舒服的一个赢的方式，就是通过这6条潮虫给边带的压力。
那现在的话 ，WE 这里主要还是因为没有兵线优势，导致河道没有视野。现在大龙这边必须要摸黑去点亮。
厄斐琉斯的3件装备已经有了，2件穿甲，1件魔切。
横的冰心也做出来，这个装备也是目前在打野位上比较关键的。
这个装备主要便宜嘛，它从2700降价到2300，这个装备真的很吃香，而且它的一个主动属性，就是它的一个基础的属性啊，还是没有降很多的，就降了一点点，但是降价却降了很多。
对，只有物抗90下调到了70，其他都没有变化。
对的。Starry 这个位置打了个 Q3，直接闪现过来捅了一下，同时自己交闪现，但这个位置应该可以帮忙做一个保守啊。当然大招捆到了，微博的这个位置比较危险，交了几步之后感觉要被留，赶紧往后跑，队友帮忙救一下，大招烤下来，最后能烫死吗？烫不死，应该有一个乌龟的护盾。
乌龟还是比较坚硬的。
Story 刚才那个身位啊，是给了一个横，攒了个 Q3，闪现过来捅了一下一个身位。
但他那个身位，说实话，真的有一点冒险。
对的，
有一种身后有10000个人的错觉。
但你还别说，就这波尝试一下打团之后，感觉 W 这个团战还可以打，对吧？他们的伤害其实还是挺足的。
毕竟他们双 C 的发育也是持平的嘛。那其实 OMG 这边可能需要一点提速。毕竟再往后拖到35分钟之后的话，打正面5v5 ，W 这也完全不虚了。
是小方这个装备现在已经是成型了，焚天加一个3项，这个时候的贾克斯其实在团战里面能力非常强。但 OMG 玩的还是不急不躁啊，他们应该就是想等的他们那个龙魂龙。
下2分钟吧。而 W 也是赶紧趁这个阶段抱团，把大龙视野先做一下。这个阵容就是需要抱团的。
防守一下蓝 buff。就在后面，现在这个蓝 buff 或者红 buff 的价值还是太大了，因为它可以给5个人全部提供 buff。有的时候你万一团战一波给到自己的 buff 被对方抢，5个红 buff 还是非常头疼的。但 W 这会儿已经是把刚才的一些小的经济差距啊拉的。已经是只有差不多快1000多块钱，2000块吧。是，刚才已经是最大差值快到一个3000块了。
目前的话，双方是有上路的 TP 差的，所以对 W 来说边路压力就没有那么大了。Cube 起码在边路处理兵线的时候 ，W 不用太担心大龙那边的情况。
而且这个版本的沙皇，其实在3件套之后，就是有了影焰，再加上这2件，他的伤害有点看不懂，就戳几下前排基本全塔了。
融化。
现在本场的龙魂龙啊，也是 W 的第2条龙，还有1分钟就要刷新了。
W 也是在赶紧的抢中路的兵线啊，这条龙他们是不能再放了。
而且
中路立了太阳圆盘，
对于 OMG 来讲，必须要妖姬赶紧把这个线给带过去，给到侧面的压力。对于他们来讲，这条龙魂龙才会争夺的比较有利。
但主要还是因为刚才中路那波打完之后，其实 WE 还是把线权给抢回来了。那 OMG 第一时间还没能把兵线处理过去，现在在赶紧的带边路。
这个局现在对于 W 来讲的话，感觉已经是慢慢的掌握回来了，因为现在双 C 的一个发育导致左边不太敢去贸然进攻，而且妖姬这会儿这个边带线，哦呦，这个伤害。
太痛了。这通臂，
通臂再加一个坠边的定，直接差不多都快要打死了。
那这一波的话，其实把 PP 告打回家，这时间节点 W 可以直接把这条龙给 RA 了。
是的，而且你看这个边带线，就是兰博去打这个 Weaver 的是有一定说法，但妖姬这个英雄去处理乌迪尔是没有任何办法的，他只能说
拿不了优势。
对你推一波线，我推一波线，大家互相推一波线就可以。
没有之前推的那么舒服。
是的。
而且 WE 也是比较坚决，他们正面是选择直接抱团压中的。 再凭借着一波机会把 PB God 的打残，也是成功的缓解了这波龙魂的压力。那这样的话，又可以往后再拖5分钟，对于他们这个阵容来说，基本上就快成型了。
而且感觉这把应该是会拖到比较后期的一个比赛了。
其实越往后拖的话 ，OMG 在正面比较难受，还是得找机会给到边路一定的压力。
想过来去找一下微波的麻烦吗？应该是可以练到了，但是后面应该去太远了，所以跟不太上。而且微波的也是比较肉的。沙皇的3件套也有了。
Prince 这里也是做出了隐血，现在基本上都不再会出大川了。
而且主要这个阵容 WE 有一个列娜塔，你太贸然的进场进攻的话，列娜塔这个反手大招也是让你有点头疼。
是。
所以现在慢慢随着时间的推移啊，刚才我们也说到，就30分钟之后 ，WE 就是占一个主动权了。而现在 OMG 要想到怎么去把这个比赛给结束，就是他们只能通过边带线给压力。但现在这个边带线呢，乌迪尔防守就比较好。
主要还是 OMG 在前面的那几分钟没有能够找到机会扩大优势。
正面试探一下，打一波。但贾克斯的反击风暴已经没了，被沙皇出2下已经出残了。杀大招给完之后，想去杀 Prince 位置被控到了 ，Prince 能秒到，但 Prince 被回了口水之后，直接反手本路给秒到了。旁边巨人踩2脚，踩出了一个 W， 但这个能不能杀掉？最后将闪现过来触发自己及时救难，
救回来了。
哇，这个及时救难真的有点极限。那这样。团战打完之后啊，一波0换2，感觉 W 可以直接动这条盘踞男爵了。
Prince 这边他的注意力是非常集中的，因为他第一时间身上有净化。
是 Prince 一发平 A 过来，是把自己身上的即时弹给刷新了。
是。
那这样打完之后，现在优势啊，已经是完全来到 W 这边。就 W 这边这个阵容，只要是列娜塔保着双 C 去打，你看沙皇这个戳几下，左边是完全招架不住的。
又是一个坠鸣，加上一念第一时间打残了，然后过来直接想魅惑的时候被救赎抬了一口，最后又是靠自己及时救难杀人，活了下来。
现在已经开始正常自己的一个节奏推进了。
打正面 OMG 这个阵容是完全打不了的，我们一再提到的。而打到目前为止的话，他们已经没有了兵线上面的优势了。在 WE 拿到大龙的情况下面，现在只能看能不能守住高地。
而且现在 FOFO 这个伤害真的有点看不懂了，这3件套
双 C 说实话都看不懂。
对，就是正面这3件套，只要戳几下，不管任何人来都是应该是要残血的。横这个位置被逮到了，有个幸运护卫，稍微拖延时间可以跑掉。而且对于 OMG 来讲，感觉这把已经真的是到了不得不打团的一个地步了。但这个阵容打团呢，只能靠小方能不能切到后排。如果切不到后排，这个团还是非常难打的。
主要有列娜塔很难切死的。然后双 C 的话，毕竟都是打 poke 的，他没有办法可以在这种劣势局打出足够的伤害。
而且你看他第3件装备应该打算做败魔之类的魔抗装备。那如果做魔抗装备的话，其实在正面还是很难去第一时间切死 Prince 的。你毕竟要考虑到一个中程激烈的护盾，还有个及时救难。
主要他还有一血，让 WE 这里选择一个4-1的分推。
现在问题逐渐来到 OMG 这里了，怎么去让这个游戏继续进行下去，是一个他们非常头疼的问题。上了个水晶，应该是等下波兵线就可以点掉了。
而下条龙还有1分钟不到的时间就要刷新，然后稳妥起见的话 ，W 可以回去之后整补一下，然后把兵线带一下去拿龙。
好像只能放，对OMG来讲叫龙，因为叫龙没什么争夺的一个空间。
但往后再拖打正面的话，其实对他们来说也是慢性死亡。
是的，现在其实对于 W 的一个胜算来讲啊，应该是已经有90%了。
对，还是那个问题吧，因为 OMG 的阵容决定了他们是有一定进攻压力的，所以如果没有办法在中期的时候结束掉比赛的话，打到大后期正面真的是够呛的。
也只能说 W 拖得好，对吧 ？W 这把感觉在前面能让资源全让了，
抱
跳
团处理得
斩上来，
好
一个反击
这里
暴约2个，但是2个肉啊直接反开，小方这个位置没有反击风暴被金鱼护被打了套之后直接往后走，跟队友汇合，而旁边 Fofo 这个位置被戳了一下，被打了一下，自己留下异形，还有一个果子可以直接吃满了白雪。
Cube 这边大招也交了，没有撒到人。那其实这波团战王他们少了关键性的一个 AOE 伤害，而且 PV 到了这里已经被戳残了。
OMG 不想跟你拖了 ，OMG 想这波去决一胜负了。
但小方这边想从侧翼进场是真的有点难，再加上自己家兵线是兵临城下了，上半区的超级兵正浩浩荡荡的朝着门牙去，必须要有人回防。
打不了，真打不了这个。
已经很难打了，打到这个目前为止。
就刚才尝试了一波去动这个沙皇，虽然说打残了，但后面有练到塔，你也不敢说直接 all in， 对吧？现在 W 一个推塔速度也起来了，基本 A 3、4下一个塔就要掉。
那其实也跟硕硕刚才提到的一个点比较有关系，就是 W 在中期时候他们的防守做得非常到位，基本上就是抱团的进行眼位的争夺，没有让 OMG 有机会可以去拿到更多的优势，这样就拖到自己成型的时候了。
是的，就感觉 W 这把他们在抱团方面啊，中期做得很好，就没有说让自己一个边带线处于一个很危险的位置，他们就是一直让乌蒂尔去进行一个比较深的带线，而沙皇始终是在跟赵信以及辅助位置比较靠近的，
没有被抓到任何落单的时机啊。那在平等的发育情况下，一定是 WE 这里的后期更强势。那现在 OMG 这边只能说先撑过了上一波的龙，
现在只能等下一波了呀。就是 OMG 只能看下一波抢到龙魂，这个阵容还不一定能打得过，
他们正面想要赢的话，只能找到那种时机可以先秒掉对方的一个 C 位。
是，
但救赎加上军团加治疗以及自己的大招，这个列娜塔保护能力还是太强了，还有及时救难。
而且不得不说，就现在 W 也打得很耐心，他在这会儿有优势的时候，也没有说贸然去直接在正面去推进塔，因为毕竟有兰博嘛，他们还是在后期要忌惮一下的。
上路反正他们是有超级兵的，源源不断的，然后小方这里也反击
大招直接给
不敢上，
交闪现在过来想去破个盾再去捅，
闪被打了出来。
但 Story 反应很快啊，看交闪瞬间自己也交了闪。
上路的超级兵也得有人去回防。
尝试捅一下，现在已经是赵信完全敢去凶这个武器了，因为后面有很多的队友去帮忙。
只要把武器的反击风暴逼出来的话，自己后排也没什么威胁。
对，两边的打野第3件都选择做了败魔，这个版本热门的一个坦克装。
WE 兵线上面有优势，他们可以慢慢的把兵线带过去之后，然后去大龙那里给压力。
而且你发现这把维鲁斯虽然在前面装备成型很快，但他其实给不到正面实质的一个回馈，对吧？就这把更多的是他的一个剑，其实在团战里面或者在团前的 poke 并没有打出来太多的一个效果。
是的。因为在中期的时候，对方基本上是4个人抱团的，他没有什么机会可以去打团前的 poke。
他就有一波，我记得中期比较激进的时候往前走那步，还被赵信给找到机会了。
其实那一步在后面的整个的节奏看下来的话，他们是很亏的。
想过来逼团，小方这个位置插个只眼，看看对方有没有在打这个龙，而 W 正面已经是来到把这个兵线处理掉了，
继续先推线。
哎，这个位置好像有点机会啊 ！WE 小方开启了反应风暴，先去帮忙阻挠一下，再跟队友汇合。微沃的开启了自己的疾步，想去留一下人，这波这个机会，但是兰博大招打得还不错，打了3个人，贾克直接跳进去之后被一个学位护卫再配合一个体罚机会给拉一下，来回的拉扯，而微沃的先跑得很快，
微沃的一直在旁边给压力，导致 OMG 正面没有办法可以从侧翼进场。
那感觉现在 W 可以直接去推这个高地水晶塔，
上路有2个超级兵啊，源源不断的在输送，
应该是要推掉了。这波一拉一扯的情况下 ，W 是直接拿到1座塔。
主要还是 OMG 兵线上面是亏的，所以在这个位置他们尝试想开没开到的话，就一定是伤的。
哎呦，感觉 OMG 要被折磨致死了呀！
中路的高地也被带掉，
这真的很难受。就是你现在打还打不过，然后你玩拉扯的话，右边因为有一个乌蒂尔还可以一直去骚扰你。
主要他们5个人抱团。铁桶阵已经形成了，
是的，
没有办法能够去突破，但是这一波直接选择交 TP，
哎，想来打吗？
落下来的是 Angel， 但 Angel 这个位置下来之后也只能后撤，打个占卜花朵。
而且妖姬这种出装啊，其实在正面团战是提供不了帮助的，对他只能去 A 一下，但 A 这个效果其实被饮水剑2下就给吸回来了。
微沃的现在一马当先，直接顶在前面。OMG 这边清线只能且战且退。
再 A 一下，但是完全的不痛不痒。
反击风暴开启之后不敢上前 ，Angel 还想在侧翼找角度去切后排，点了一下 Prince， 反而是自己被控住，这个伤害完全不在一个量级。把左内直接控到是微沃的，这边直接开魅惑墙，先秒微沃，但微沃这里好肉扛了好长时间，反而是 PV 告了这里自己的身板太脆了，先阵亡了。而在侧翼 Angel 还想上前，但是小恒在旁边 他是一个非常合格的保镖，保护着自己的后排，
他一直在后边，他完全不往前走一步，
就保着双 C。
是的，
你突不进去。
而且安卓现在也挺头疼啊，他只能 W 过来充能一下 A 一下，然后再回去，大招直接撒下来，撒到风风的身上，还有 iWanted 身上。那这波打的感觉没有办法一直打到底啊。
但这波 Prince 的枪不是很好，打的速度没有那么快啊，所以
看一下 W 的一个选择
，W 也想拉扯一下。
戳到了小方，小方有反击风暴，这波打小方应该是不太明智的，应该要拉扯走了。星位护卫开完之后，他自己被练到了，这波应该是要救一下恒，因为恒一倒地，这个还真不好说，恒倒地了。那往后再拉，交闪现过来想去强切 Prince 应该要被切死了，一个击中弹没有救起来。哇，就是这波啊，恒去切这个小方，导致自己被留。
但是等一下，我们看一下，下面是选择了 TP 的是 Fofo。 这里想要找机会去把下路的高地塔给带掉，但仅只能带到一个高地塔了。那这样的话应该是。
我跟道。
而 Prince 身上带的是风暴聚集，也开始发力了。当前加成已经48攻击力。
两边又开始僵持住了，就是推高地呢也很难，对于 OMG 来讲，但是对于 W 来讲的话，想去打一个反打，这会儿也只能等大龙 buff 消失之后。
WE 目前的核心任务就是守住高地，守住高地。 尽量的清线拖到大龙 buff 结束。
这个装备的厄斐琉斯和沙皇清线没有任何问题啊。沙皇已经神装了，最后一件补了退生，这件装备可以在击杀对方的时候为友方提供一个治疗信心。
而 OMG 这里起码这一下可以让他们把整个经济也打回来，同时拖到自己接下来水晶全都复活，没有那么大兵线压力的时候去跟对方。 在远古龙决一死战，那这样的话，悬念就在继续。
就是远古龙是真不好说。
对，真的就看这波谁能抢到这条龙。
是，就远古龙，你说在左边拿完之后，他还团战真的能打，
就大家又回到同一起跑线上了。
因为毕竟左边这个阵容，它是一个致残能力很强，但它致死能力蛮一般的一个阵容。
它需要持续的输出。
对，但如果有了远古巨龙之后呢，这个阵容这个情况完全不一样。
想趁着对方水晶还没有复活，刚刚复活啊，继续往前压进，给点压力。
现在已经是一人一波是吧 ？W 的回合了 ，W 现在把兵线又重新压到了 OMG 的塔下，回合制游戏。
召唤师技能的话也都转好了，就剩下 PP 告的闪现，这个闪现还是比较关键的，毕竟洛需要依靠这个闪现去开。所以还是要等一下。
大招直接给炸，
哇，这烟花炸的太痛了，
全部给炸残了。那这样的话，中路的水晶应该是可以直接被 A 掉。
看一下要不要直接转拿2路。
2路应该没什么问题。安卓在旁边就在 A， 但 A 的完全不痛啊，因为毕竟有个银血剑，还有一个自己的炼金龙魂。
但这里也要非常小心，且战且退，小心蓝波的大招打的还不错，腐败锁链截控的是微沃的，微沃的还是比较肉的，第一时间吃了一波伤害，向后拉扯，赶紧是叫救赎抬了一口，但 PP 告的这些闪现进场，选择枪，先把个风我给 敲掉了。那这样的话，正面脚环这里也走不掉，其他人只能赶紧撤退，看一下能走几个。Prince 这里还想操作一下战友，尽快的直接被抬起来了，操作不起来的。那这样的话，直接叫 TP 有机会
看一下兵线，感觉这个兵线
50秒的复活时间
应该是有了。这个兵线只要在正面两个人不让他回家的话，其实这个兵线保护一下炮车兵应该是真有了。
这两个人推打非常快，只能
交
赶紧
替，赶紧回
家。
正面的人也没有找到 Wayward 的，看一下能不能守住。一个辅助，一个上单，清线能力蛮一般，很难去防守啊，因为大部队已经过来了。
肉身往前扛。
这波大部队过来之后，感觉对于左边来讲，应该是可以尝试一波，旁边尝试去杀Wayward的，扛不住啊！毕竟5个人的输出，给个前期那也救不太起来，赶紧把兵线给送出去。兵线送完了，但是还有个虚空蠕虫，而这边来讲，华凯说练 I want it 要被 A 死了吗？再 A 下 A 打到的团灭，但这个虚空蠕虫这会儿体现出来他们的价值了，而且下一波兵线也续上了。虚空蠕虫再生成一波，
还没有复活，
只要 A 就可以了。那这应该是要一波了，我们恭喜 OMG！ 哇，谁能想到这把比赛如此的跌宕起伏啊！
恭喜 OMG 先下一城，在前期拿到优势的情况下，中期一度 W 已经防守的非常到位了，但是最后在高地前的这一波，让 OMG 找到机会，再次恭喜他们。
好的，让我们恭喜 OMG 拿下了第1局的胜利。说实话，真的有点没想到，因为前期的话就会过得比较平稳一些，包括中期大家只是抱团去拿一些塔，去拿一些资源。对于 W 这边的双 C 来说，那我心里面真的非常舒服啊。但是还是在推进的过程当中，两波，一波在大龙那边，还有在下路塔的推进过程当中，感觉稍稍的有一些恋战，有一点点痛失好局的意思吧。
没错，主要是刚才太想去扩大自己的优势，拿到2路高地了。那其实拿完1路回去的话是肯定可以的，但毕竟他们在对方没有防御塔的情况下，也想尽可能的能够结束掉比赛嘛。
是的，他们觉得后期之后双 C 装备已经成型了，因为当时我看到 Fofo 已经是6神装了。
对，
这个装备的沙皇确实戳谁谁死，但没想到的是，就我只能说 PP 高的开的太好了。PP 高的刚才那一波也是开到对方的 Prince， 然后这波也是开到 Prince， 就2波开完之后，让正面团战 Prince 一倒，然后 Fofo 一倒，正面团战完全没有任何的作战余力了。
是的，其实他们从中转到下的那个位置上面已经看到自己是暴露在一个非常危险的地带了，而 OMG 也正是抓住了那个时机，完成了一波反打。
所以我感觉这把比赛就突出一个有来有回。首先一开始，刚才小月也说到，在前面是一个发育的态势，中期的时候 W 的双 C 逐渐成型，但是左边呢又手握很多的资源点，所以打得非常僵持。但到了后期 W 双 C 装备完全成型的时候，把这个兵线以及这些整个的资源全部给占领之后，而反而到后期被 OMG 一波翻盘。
那我们也是可以从赛后数据看到啊，就这一把还是打得非常的一波3折的。红色方也是在30分钟之后才经济上面有领先，而在40分钟后的话又被蓝色方重新掌握回来。这一把双方的 AD 都打出了非常高位的伤害，都打到了4万多。
是的，感觉这把其实两边都挺尽力的吧，也都在去想着法子把这把比赛怎么去运营下来。但就谁能想到一个究极双 C 发育到最后，反而是被给左边拿下了呢？
我们也是来看一下本场的 highlight。
这波一开始是Wayward比较冒进了，他太想去野区留一下 Q， 然后最后自己被反流了。主要还是看那2波团战吧，就感觉最后2波，一边是峡谷，就是大龙处的一个团战，还有最后一波下路团战，都是感觉 W 的一个站位出现小问题，然后被对方给开到了。
这波 Prince 个人的操作还是比较的精彩的，思路非常清晰。
交闪现过来一个强行 A， 然后把自己的身上 W 给刷新了。
是。然后这一波是 WE 他们的阵型站得非常好，这波的话则是横拖大了，也是让他们丢失了大龙，一度陷入到比较被动的局面。
只要是双 C 倒一个，这个小方的武器大师就完全开始起势了。
最后这关键的一波啊，因为第一时间 Prince 也是已经交过闪现去躲腐败锁链了，所以在后续
我们来看一下
面对上。
就 P 高的这一波啊，直接抬到2个，然后再回去，再等下一波。我们也要把自己的 MVP 票数给到选手身上，我要给到 P 高的，因为我感觉他几波团战开的都开得很不错，然后让最后队友也打得比较舒服。
那我这一把的话给到打野吧，他在前线节奏也比较好。
好的。因为最后也确实是因为这个虚空蠕虫，对吧？当时那个塔推的还是比较慢，那个虚空蠕虫最后也是帮忙给了很多对于塔的一个致命伤害。
前中后期都有人能够站出来嘛？
是的。哇，真的没想到啊，就是拿到炼金龙魂，然后又是一个究极双 C 的一个装备成型，最后还是被找到了一些机会给翻盘了。
是。
本来当时我们都以为可能说 WE 这把比赛已经拿下了，对吧？但没想到是最后 OMG 还是凭借那次机会给这个找到了。
这119亿，这第一场上来就打得如此焦灼啊！还是非常惊心动魄的感觉，大家都看着捏了把汗。
就一开始大家可能看的是比较平稳的，心情比较平稳，但在后面大楼之后，心情就跟过山车一样了，因为在后面确实打架的点实在是太多了。
那目前也是能够感受到的，就是在新的赛季，大家拿到这种新的阵容的时候，打的相对来说前期是比较平稳的，对吧？没有非常的冒进啊。那在稳步运营途中，慢慢的去找到对手的破绽，然后去破解它。
是的，而且这把比赛确实时间也比较长，然后也大家看到了，其实在前期，你如果积攒很多的一些虚空资源的话，其实在后期一个推塔也是有一定的帮助的。
这一把结束之后的话。目前 OMG 也是能够先拿下1分，因为第一局的话他们也是优先选边，现在蓝色方胜率又再加一码。
对，现在蓝色方主要还是在于在前期，就是大家在昨天比赛啊，其实更直观的感受到对于下路的一个宰制，就蓝色方。而现在在今天，我觉得可能蓝色方赢还是赢在他们在后面的配合吧。其实这个跟这把的选边关系并没有很大。
那我们也来看一下本场的 MVP，
看一下给谁。
最终是给到打野小方，他的 KD 也是非常完美，2-0-6以及100%的参团率啊，城商占比也高达33%，也是他在本赛季第一场拿下的第一个 MVP。
这名小将当时在上来之后啊，直接选到武器大师，是让大家蛮惊讶的，也期待他的发挥。但在前期的野区以及一些野区的控制资源做的真的不错，尤其是这6条虫子，虽然说有一部分的功劳是来自于上单的块宝，但还是把这个资源控完之后，让下路以及边线的一个分带做得很舒服。
是，那这个的话其实可能也是 WE 在下一局在复盘当中需要去处理的，就是关于蠕虫的这个点嘛。因为我们也是看到，其实在第2波虫子的时候是他们没有配合好，给到了对方机会，从而丢失掉了一个关键的时间节点，可能在沟通上面还需要再加强一下。
而且我觉得，其实对于这把来讲的话 ，WE 同时好局点还有一个就是他们的一些站位选择吧，他们太多的一些 C 位是暴露出来一些。站位的缺点，然后被对方给抓到了。你看最后一波，当时我们看到撤退的时候，其实是有一些小脱节的，就是双 C 跟正面的前排是有一部分的距离的。
是。
那这个其实在最后这种非常紧张的团战时候，就会给对方一些缺点的暴露，然后让对方给抓住了。
包括感觉稍微有一点犹豫不决吧，因为可能在 Purple 已经阵亡的情况下面，有一部分人是想选择直接撤退，但是有一部分人还想继续再打一下，那可能就导致一个前后方的脱节。在沟通上面还需要他们继续加强。
是的，那同时梅赛德斯奔驰也要提醒大家，接下来 OMG 对阵 WE 的第2场对决 ，WE 选择了红色方，让我们稍事休息，精彩比赛马上回来。
把生活玩出新意，
自由自在，灵感随行，
用个性的方式画世界，
让眼界突破边界，
让远在天边近在眼前，
让每一刻精彩不再等待。
停了后的我们很年轻，相信坚持让我们赢到最后，熬过最灰暗的。止步于此。
好菜不怕晚嘛。
莫思然为热爱证明，进荣耀之巅。
说到今年公司的业绩啊，有了显著的提升。
我给大家精心准备了一些新年礼物。
还有呢？
当然还有了，一份99路的龙年迟到打折券。
还有呢？没有了。
真的还有？
没有了，我要复制一遍啊！
有啊。英雄联盟天龙之子版本真的还有活动和福利啊！
英雄联盟天龙之子版本福利比你老板更给力！
参加活动领取龙蛋，2月1日开启龙蛋即可免费获得新英雄斯莫德和龙年限定皮肤。
欢迎回来，您现在正在收看的是2024英雄联盟职业联赛春季赛。在上一局的比赛当中 ，OMG 在稍稍落后的情况下，抓住了2波机会，拿下了第1局比赛的胜利。在比赛开始之前呢，我们同样有一些资讯要跟大家同步：极速保护全效应万变，美孚速霸润滑油，快速应对战况变化，全效保护英雄出征。玩游戏就选拯救者。2024联想拯救者全系列产品再度升级，高能登场，与所有召唤师一起为战而生。无畏契约新春活动来袭，双城之战、枪械挂饰、公仔、红包封面等奖励等你来拿。这个新年和无畏契约一起玩点新的吧。其实刚刚这一局啊，我感觉。因为我们现在可能大家心里面觉得蓝色方有一个天然的地形优势嘛，但这一局 WE 选择了红色方，是不是有一些想法说，我要一个 counter way 去选一些更多的能够1v1或者是拿到优势的一些英雄？
感觉他们选择红色方，可能还是想去利用这个 counter way 吧。刚才你也聊到了，因为这把我们看上去，其实对于上路维沃尔来讲的话，他其实在前期对线还行，但他后期玩的比较难受。所以我觉得来到红色方之后，虽然我们大家可能说很难理解这个版本选择红色方，但我感觉应该还是想去为这个 counter way 而去选的红色方。
是，其实在选到乌迪尔的情况下，他在上路前期还是打得非常舒服的。
对。
那主要他们没有能够通过上路的这个对线优势去转为地图资源，可能是这一局需要加强的点。
而且他们当时还是上路，因为有一些线优，所以导致追得太深了。那波就是第2波的虚空潮宠，对吧？本来是当时是感觉红色方有利可以争夺的，但没想到是那波因为上单的阵亡，所以导致了在后面他们是没办法争夺的。
是，包括其实第1波的潮虫，他们也是选择放掉去拿小龙的，而那个时间点其实是乌迪尔在上路非常强势的时间段。那么可能在整个地图资源的抉择上面 ，W 这里还需要再斟酌一下，因为现在还是潮虫在前中期更强势。
是的，但而且我感觉就是这种比赛，我们看到就是大家都全部发育到后期的时候，各自都拥有了自己想要的装备，而且还有一条炼金龙魂，而在最后还输到比赛，其实我觉得对于选手们的一个心理的影响还挺大的。希望选手们赶紧调整一下心态，因为这种比赛打到40多分钟，然后大家后期阵容，而且后期比赛还输了，这种还是挺难受的，有时候。
是的，那我们也是话不多说，进入到双方的第2场 BP。WE 是自己主动选择到了红色方，蓝色方是 OMG。我们来看一下双方第2局是否有变化。
两边没有换边嘛，跟第1局是一样的。首先我们来看到这个班位啊，也是目前这几手一模一样的，左边选择搬掉了飞机小炮，右边选择搬掉了艾希以及卢锡安。
来看一下第3手，依旧是 NOC。那 WE 这里卡莉斯塔是否继续搬呢？
如果有设计的话，看看能不能放出来。那如果正常来去选的话，应该是要搬掉的。
其实上一局的话，下路双人组是没有太多的镜头的，基本是平稳发育的一个状态，主要还是打团和一些联动上面的沟通吧。
那这样妖姬了呀，感觉没问题啊，
继续选，优势方不变。
就是 Angel 这个妖姬，其实在边带线给的压力还挺大的。虽然在正面打团，确实这个妖姬在出 AD 装的时候没什么太大的用，但是在边带线的压制力还是起到了。
但输的一方势必是要做出一定的改变的。WE 想要再提一下前中期的速度啊。
维鲁斯这个版本还是可以的，但是打到中后期啊，这个英雄可能在上把大家看到了，相对来讲比较乏力。对，他在中期的伤害还不错的。
维鲁斯加上列娜塔，那可以在前期的进攻性更强一些。
那这样的话就是把沙皇的优先级放到很低了，因为在上一把过程中是1、2楼直接出沙皇了。
他们也可以3楼出嘛？
对，
看一下 OMG 这边。对于他们来说，可能需要调整的是在中期的时候选到进攻性阵容的时候，得把节奏稍微提得快一些，因为你不能跟对方去平稳的发育。
在没有维鲁斯之后，现在打这个对线，其实如果正常来讲，有手塞纳最后选择炸弹人儿，
有套路。
炸弹人的话，那其实再配一个洛，有可能就是让炸弹人去挂线，然后洛再配合打野去游走那种一个路子了。
因为我们通过上一局看到，其实 PP God 还是比较擅长于野辅联动的。
这个版本在蓝色方炸弹人下路确实也是比较安全的啊，
没什么压力。
那这样的话 ，Fofo 3楼还是直接把沙皇给选出来了。上把沙皇确实在伤害方面，是还可以的，但是我们在上把好像很难看到说沙皇在这种团战里面的一个大招的反制啊，也确实是这种团战触发的时候，其实 Fofo 的位置也很危险，所以大招释放时机可能是比较难找。
看一下位这个点是否要继续搬掉。
感觉小方这把的选择一个偏向于刷，然后到后期有一定伤害的打野啊。这把其实这个阵容敲定完之后 ，OMG 可能是比较偏向于后期的一个选择了。
自己搬了赵信，毕竟也怕对方拿到双圈。
那这样 OMG 看看第4手，要不要去限制一下横的打野？还是办了波比，跟上把的班是一样的。
而且这把他们比较怕波比。
上把小方的武器大师发挥还蛮不错的，在前期的打架能力以及在中后期的开团都已经做到位了。
那是否要针对一下呢？
看一下要不要针对一下。而且搬了武器的话，其实还有守卫，都还可以。搬了奎桑提啊。办奎桑提，其实这把想去给 Wayward 玩一些能够在线上进攻比较猛的英雄了。这把外边还有兰博，然后还有一种还有纳尔，这种英雄都还不错。兰博搬了。
那上路优先级比较高的就只有贾克斯这种。
这手应该是要给横先出来，然后最后 counter ray 给到 Weber 看一手。
上把大树是在5楼被ban掉的，但是如果是大树的话，中野其实强度还是很低，所以选择到了位。
是的，现在 Weber 在队的地位是显著提升啊，现在也可以拥有 counter ray 了。那最后打野是选择了位，看一下小方怎么去做选择了。贾克斯还是可以的。上把贾克斯在前期控制资源控得很好，看这把能不能凭借上路的或者中的线权继续把资源给控下来。
最后一手决定一下贾克斯的走向。
哦，那如果这样选择的话，还是想把贾克斯往上路去摇吗？看一下。
但这样选依旧是面临着中野双 AP 的情况。
不，这样敲定完之后，那应该就还是可能让大树去打野，贾克斯上单。这样其实，在中野 AD 都是 AP 啊，这把 OMG 的 AP 稍微有点多了。嗯。
最后继续选乌迪尔。
但最近比赛里面以及排位里面还是有见过大树上单的，所以 OMG 这个上野还存在一定摇摆可能性，就看一下他们最后怎么去摇了。
这一把 WE 这边他们是做出了一定的辩证的，起码整体的节奏上面来说，过渡会比上一把更加平滑，没有说完全要拖。
是
这把他们自己也可以找一定的节奏在前中期的时候。
那最后还是比较常规的一个分路，上单的武器，然后打野的大树。
对，
这把妖姬应该还是要做 AD 的，否则的话 AD 太多了。
而这把 OMG 这个阵容选下来的话，大概率也是炸弹人挂线。然后看一下 PPGod 这里能不能配合上打野做点事情。
这把感觉 PPGod 要游起来了。这个版本炸弹人在前期挂线没有任何问题，因为在下路蓝色方其实面对的一个防守压力并不大，红色方的压力会大一些。而且就看这把 Weber 在上路能不能继续像上把一样，在前期有一定的线权，这样其实对于鹏来讲，在前面是可以尝试去控这个潮冲的。我们也来看一下这把 WE 继续选择红色方，他们能不能在比赛里面打出来？
再来回顾一下双方在第2局选择到的阵容。进入到双方的第2场召唤师峡谷。
大树这个皮肤也是之前 Dragon X 那个冠军皮肤啊。
对，捧着冠军奖杯。
敌军还有30秒到达战场。
同样的路子，在第1把的时候，我们在河道也是看到这样。啊，在1起的时候，现在两边都是要看一下这个草谁能先站住啊。
而下路早早的点了中草的视野。
这把两边的前期节奏可能比起上把来讲的话会更慢一些，因为毕竟是一个在前面打野主刷的一个阵容啊。虽然说上把两边资源互换，都比较多，但其实实质打起来的人头爆发还是很少的。这把可能两边还是要等到6级之后去做事儿了。哎，可以吃一个眼的经验，一波兵线可以直到2级了。而且这把 Prince 的维鲁斯的出装应该是走攻速特效流那套维鲁斯的出装了。哎 ，PPGod 的这个好像半路要被打一套，自己学了 W。这个版本里面维鲁斯有做这个羊刀和借弓啊，在中期的一个收益效果还不错。
借弓现在还是非常热门的装备，
尤其它是配合这种羊刀一起出的话，这个特效流是能够很快叠起来。
主要它那5秒特效太强了。
上路打贾克斯还是在前期有一定优势啊，毕竟乌迪尔这个1级还是太强了。下路打得很凶，因为维鲁斯 A 完小军之后有一个被动的攻速加成，直接把 PPGod A 成了残血。
看 看得出来，上一局下路双人组 Prince 这里没有玩爽，这把要打一点进攻压力。而
贾克斯直接反向跳过去，想去吃一个兵，但这里的话 ，Wayward 也不敢贸然去直接打伤害，
急走开了。
要等这个反击风暴，两边都在拉扯，但一拉一去的话，反而把 Wayward 自己的幽灵起步给拉完了。
但因为横也在上半区，所以维沃尔这边肆无忌惮的去换血，压力也不大。
维沃尔的卡一个身位，贾克斯的反击风暴交完之后，但这个伤害也不致死，只能再去 A 个不灭去混一下血量。
这个血量有点差了，得回家了，
只能避了。但9刀的贾克斯避回去，好像也只能买一个小绿豆。
主要再不回的话，有性命之忧。
乌布蒂尔这个前期确实太强了，主要他这个鹤形态整个的一个伤害，你在前面是顶不住的。
是。
这把在前面两边大爷还是要刷一刷，看这个上路的河道军械有没有机会争夺一波。小方是选择在前面刷了4组啊，这个刷野的整个的路线还是比较偏向于 防守的路线，他是应该是刷4组，然后回来去把河道鞋吃完之后，看看上路没有机会。想来抓上，卡一个视野差，但是 Wayward 刚才是把吉布交过去了，看一下有没有不可阻挡的一个形态。等到这个形态结束之后，再去敲一下。但是这个位置已经拉得比较远了，所以没有在后续的机会了。
但打一下他的状态吧。
还是感觉这个版本抓上确实收益有点小啊，
太难抓了。
因为你没有边草给到一个视野压力的话，你只能卡视野过来，这个时候给到对方的一个反应时间还是很多的。
主要是上野的伤害也不够。
PP God 绕过来，看看能不能找个机会抬一下，但刚才也被 Starry 给炸了一下。
Starry 这边对于炸弹人的熟练度还是比较高的，在前期已经凭借2v2是把 Prince 打回家一次了。
这个版本的炸弹人出装也比较多变啊，一会儿看一下 Starry 怎么出了，感觉出什么都有。
而小方这里则是可以凭借着中下的线权再吃一河蟹。
这把两边还是要等这个虚空潮虫和小龙刷新了，这个阵容在前面基本没有什么打架的点。而对于上单两边的装备，刚才因为贾克斯毕竟是9刀的回了家嘛，所以他现在装备相对于维沃尔来讲稍微差一些。哦，看到这个树儿子，而同样的小峰也看到这个眼了，那应该是都知道打野在野区里面。
很难抓啊，这边下路也是抓不了的。现在当前打野的现状，
只能刷6，对，这个感觉只能刷6去控资源。
看见了，
因为边线的控制能力，其实在这把比赛里面还是蛮一般的。
是，这波其实没有办法把这条龙打了。看到他的位置，同时中下都在往前压进。
大树应该是想看一下小龙啊，因为第一站pin了正在峡谷这个潮虫的一个路上，但是这波想转过头来看个小龙，横已经被小龙打了差不多1/3的血量，这波还抬了2个，但是一个 Q 闪直接命中了 PP God 一个回身，还回了口血，有口治疗。而 Fofo 这个位置也是狂戳2下，两边应该这条小龙都打不了了。
主要还是刚才中路 Angel 这里也是先推线，先往小龙这里靠的。
压力有点大。
对 ，WE 这个位置直接被包夹住了。
这个潮虫也比较难控，这个潮虫真有点难控，因为现在 Wayward 它是可以去直接断线的。面对一个断线的上单，你控潮虫其实心里面还是有点胆怯的。再等一等。现在 Wayward 把线断完之后，开始给野区压力了。这把小方在前面的一个刷野路线吧，其实还是有点被横给牵扯着走。因为这会儿如果不控潮虫的话，其实下一波等横控完这条小龙，再把中路兵线整理一波，他其实是可以反过来控的。要控。
中路也在推，这一波直接开打。
必须要控，要不然你不控的话太亏了，有点。
是的。 现在这样的改动其实会让优势方的
脚闪过来，
下路
这镜头拉到了，但旁边一个大招只动打西打到炸弹人身上，伤害应该是关不太死的。旁边一个腐败锁链的蔓延到 P 高的身上，最后来一个穿刺持剑，配合伤害啊，直接拿下 First Blood。
打得很凶啊，主要这里黏住了，一直在 A。
主要是刚才那个轻舞成双回到了炸弹人旁边，正好把这个腐败锁链的蔓延到自己身上了。
RVR 直接打出了线杀，但是可惜的是人头没有给到 Prince。
是的，最后是由艾王队拿下来，但这个击杀也是打得蛮漂亮的。我们来看这波交闪过来铁腕竞合，然后炸弹人交闪，
正好是卡着有一个6级差的时间点。黏住。
他回去的时候也没有后续的位移技能了。这把比赛的节奏还是相对于来说比较慢的，还是要等到下一波的资源点。
两边打野现在都有大了，看一下第一个大招的释放。
感觉这个时候对于恒的考验还是蛮大的，就是魏的第一个大招其实比较类似于梦魇卡牌这种的，你是一定要做到事情。
还是想
来抓上吗？但上路这个血量，我们来看谁扛塔。这小方先来过来扛塔，旁边第一时间是小方在扛，小方在过去之后漂亮，这波击杀最后换扛，交闪现过来。
还可以再吃镀层。
哇，那这样的话，其实对于 Wayward 的边线已经很难玩了。
对，
这会儿贾克斯80刀打这个53刀，而且还能吃3层镀层啊。
他这波阵亡回去，身上 TP 还没转好，只能步行上线。
就还是那个点，就是贾克斯打5点，如果在前期没有被压太多的时候，其实在后面只要配合打野能够抓死一波，这个整个的一个劣势就瞬间没了。
是。那很想趁这个时间节点在下半区换点资源也很困难。
而且横着第一个大招看什么时候能够去配合队友找一些节奏，这个还是很关键的。虽然说这把的一个阵容，跟上把是差不太多的，但是因为毕竟后期是厄斐琉斯变成了维鲁斯嘛，所以后期压力还是有一些的。
下半区的这个防御塔。镀层都很健康，在没有视野的情况下面直接退守塔下。
虽然说刚才那波击杀了一波辅助，但是你去想去吃炸弹人镀层还是有点困难的。
对，没办法把线清过去。
Wayward 还是在继续断线，虽然现在自己玩得很舒服，但是不知不觉
就玩出了一种炼金的感觉。
对，就是现在5点炸弹人，这个5点基本都这样玩，但玩来玩去的话，其实在后面贾克斯有了3下之后，你基本就边线很难看他了。
是啊。主要这一把贾克斯去到上路之后，他会比上一把给到。
Wayward 这个跑动路线好像有点小心思啊，想来下路支援一波。
跑酷男孩。
但小方也是非常知道，直接让了。可以，这个路线还是可以的，从上路先断一波兵线，再跑下来。
然后 Cube 直接效仿，你断
我也
断。就刚才提到的点就在于，毕竟这把是上单贾克斯，他其实跟妖姬形成131的单带会比上一局给 W1边路压力更大一些。
而且 Cube 这把如果稍微做出装做的奔放一点的话，他可以第2件直接补破败。那其实对于 Wayward 来讲的话，一个边线是非常难打的。这把对于 Fofo 来讲也只能发育啊，也没什么太好的联动。
是。Cube 这里做出3项，而 Angel 这里做出电刀 ，Derry 这也是做出天使。那这样的话，又是来到双方 OMG 先领先第1件成装的时间点。
第2波潮虫马上刷新了 ，OMG 看这波有没有一个线权能够抢先把线给推过去，再控他们的第2波潮虫。现在目前看来 ，W1先把这波线给推过去了，而且此时艾王队也过来了，这个潮虫感觉是必须要争夺一下的。
W1想明白了，不可以全放啊。
对你最起码拿一个嘛，拿一个的话给到对方5只也是可以接受的，但你如果是全部给到对方的话，还是很难受的。
直接交替，目的非常明确。
这波就是要保这个潮虫打了。
对。
先去击杀1只，但其他2只刷新了护盾，看这波能不能在第一时间控到一个人，大招自然之握开出来，控到3个人还不错，交闪现过来把这个位给强行拉进来，但位这个位置 A 爆炸果实给跟队友汇合，而小方这个位置也只能往后撤一下 ，A 爆炸果实再弹回来，两边是换了波技能。
那这样一来的话 ，WE 还是可以继续去拿潮宠，而与此同时 ，OMG 下路是一直在找机会推进的。
是的，第2只潮宠拿完之后交 TP 过来，这波这个第3只潮宠 ，OMG 应该要拿下来了，要4只潮宠。
推完线之后直接交踢过来，帮队友拿潮宠就是炸弹人的优势吧，毕竟领先一个 TP。
对，这个 TP 可以接踢过来，也看得出来 OMG 对于这个潮宠的投资还是挺大的。
而且他这波转线非常舒服的，顺势可以转线把上塔带掉，正好是一个残血塔，一个爆破直接带走。
然后让贾克斯 TP 去下，其实他们这个分线在这波处理的还不错。
那 WE 也不甘示弱，
拿2条龙。
对。
其实目前看下来，这个资源的控制啊 ，WE 是2条龙、2只潮宠，而 OMG 是4只潮宠。WE 这个资源的领先还是有一些的。
这把比上把在前期资源控的要好很多。
是的。这把也是土龙魂，而且现在所有人过来保着 Prince 去吃这个镀层，后边也只能在后边去轮轮经验去吃兵了。2支战队在今天比赛里面打的还是非常稳妥，没有说去尝试非常激进找机会。
是的，
都是在资源团看看能不能打，打不了就撤。
这把 Fofo 是选择出水银鞋的，
他这把面对控制有点多。
对，毕竟对方中野给到自己威胁比较大。
还是得等2、3件套，就这个版本的沙皇2件套之后，基本是一个伤害的质变。
Fofo 是不着急的，你永远能够看到他装备能起来。
但有一说一，其实这把炸弹人的一个推塔节奏是没有起来的，他只能说在下路进行一个防守，不让对方去来推。
但刚才那波 TP 还可以，
对，那波 TP 是帮助拿一些资源。
现在整体上面来说 ，OMG 在前期也都能接受，能拿的东西都拿到了。
Wayward 过来骚扰一下。但是大树在旁边啊，也不敢推得太深。
那接下来
这个位置如果再冒进的话，有点危险啊。Wayward 的大招直接自然之后开出来 ，Wayward 是没有闪现的，但身上后面被抬到了。大招给完之后，看一下后面的伤害能不能跟上，好像有点低啊。毕竟这3哥们没什么伤害。再开完了自己R形态，赶紧往后跑，再开了一个山羊形态，还有个乌龟形态。哎呦 ，Wayward 也就真的是凭借自己的身板硬。
溜了，而在这个时间点，因为吸引了对方太多人员的注意力，横在悄咪咪的进行一个峡谷
这也真就是欺负这3哥们没伤害。玩起来了，
玩的就是心跳。主要是这3个人击杀效率太低了。
确实，真的一个伤害好像只能靠炸弹人一个丢炸弹以及他的一个科学地狱火炮打伤害了。
大意了。这里被牵扯住了之后，其实丢了挺多东西的。
而且这波其实还是一波大节奏呢，因为这波拿了一个峡谷资源，同时上路转线来过后，还可以给一个上路1塔去压低些血量。
是啊。
这把 WE 虽然说这个经济是小落后，但是这个资源这把还是拿挺多的。横这个位置好像在第一时间被大叔给留到了，赶紧把这个塔给破掉，没有闪现，直接被一脚给踩死了。哇，那这个时候感觉是在第一时间往前想跟队友汇合，把这塔破完之后再去推波兵线，被对方给抓住了。
只能说，索性是这个时间点没有地图资源了。我们来看一下这波回放，是先闪现躲掉了一个盛大登场。
这是第一波嘛？这第一波应该是被逼了个闪现，第2波是直接被逮住了。
对。
现在就等一下沙皇装备了，沙皇第1件纳什加已经有了。一会儿等一波节奏，配合横的大招，感觉可以释放峡谷先锋去找一波节奏。大招直接锁到 PP 杠的，但后面叫 TP， 大招 TP 火炮也是炸的还不错。大招自然之后砍完之后，那这个位置呢只能往后跑了，没有闪现的感觉被 A 死了。这个时候 Wayward 过来搅局，搅的还行，自己身上这个 AOE 还打的挺高的。横直接被秒杀掉，但武士大师直接过来跳斩，配合自己大招打还不行。哇，2狼头直接锤死一个，再锤死一个。而 Wayward 虽然说挺能搅的，但自己实质伤害并不是很高。沙皇飘过去，这波能杀死 Story 吗？没有闪现的 Story。
炸弹拉开。但是Wayward这里追击残血能力还是比较强的，
因为毕竟沙皇身上是有闪现的，山羊形态过来去拍一下，触发了炽天使的护盾，最后人头应该是要给到 Fofo 收尾了。 这波打完之后，只能说两边在野区这波碰撞啊，各有收获吧。一边是给到块宝人头了，Q 宝人头了，然后另外一边是给到这个沙皇一个人头。我们来看这波，在第一时间
主要横扛了很久的时间。
对，横是直接锁进去之后，自己的位置第一时间很尴尬，因为已经是到对方的一个区域了。
是，先救赎抬了一口，然后又有治疗，然后又有及时救难。 杀他花了太多的时间了，但Cube 最后的进场也比较关键
啊。Cube 这里在技能都基本交完之后再进场，就没什么技能就处理他了。
是。那其实，在整体的局势上面来说 ，OMG 也能接受，因为让贾克斯这里能够发育的更顺畅的话，其实对他们阵容
就两边兜底的英雄都有一颗人头，这波其实都还挺能接受吧。
这条龙。 是 OMG 这里凭借他们先把下路兵线带过去之后，占住了河道的优势，
直接召唤峡谷先锋了。这里应该是想去利用一些塔的经济去置换这条龙，
同时也吃到了一个蓝 buff。上切，
这是刚才我说那个，就是你一定要在峡谷先锋过了塔墩子之后再去放。
科目3没练好啊，
否则的话就会出现这样的一个情况。 只能说不怪 AD 玩家，因为毕竟平常乘坐这个峡谷先锋这个机会比较少，打野玩家都是抢着做的，
没怎么开过，生疏了。
现在看有没有机会把这个下路一塔给点掉，所有人过来保着Fofo来点。抬到了，这波是个机会，科学第一火炮，3个大招全部跟上，这波就是闪击杀，横这个位置比较危险，最后是被安卓直接拿下人头。
哎，王迪也没有闪现的，看一下这个位置。 能有人接吗？接不到，圣纳登场再一次抬起来，
应该是很难跑了，毕竟没有闪现的，只能被对方留住。
哇，
那这样这波打完之后，
还有一个人在进行一个拉扯。
这个逃跑路线好像还有点说法哈。
反向应该是没有人能够追到了，
应该是跑了，因为地图上并没有人替他信号。
是，这个位置主要留不住，实在要追的话，他还可以送塔。
而且在刚才
上路的
打架同时啊，
掉了。
是的，块宝这里是直接带到了2塔。
开启他的单带视野，
这把贾克斯的一个单带空间还是挺大的，
非常大，舞台很大
，4条潮虫，然后身上装备还是有领先的。
现在这个大龙刷新的特效也非常的炫，
现在大龙有点那个特苏鲁风格，对吧？就看起来是有点诡异的，
更加有威严了。而且有点深海恐惧症福音了。
是的，这把好像还是个盘踞男爵啊。 这个地形改变并没有很大，只是把那个口子略微缩小了一些。
现在时间在20分钟呢 ，OMG 目前也是手握着4000块钱的经济领先。
这把 OMG 刚才那波团战打完之后，有一个实质的经济领先。而且刚才姑姑也聊到了，其实这把这个单带空间对于武器大师来讲的话是很大的。
对。他毕竟会比兰博更适合在
这里打一套，因为毕竟是个 AD 妖姬啊。
大招
自然之握直接跟上，就是想一个3大招过来去留横，但横这个位置直接是一个横向走位，走开了这个自然之握。
但是快宝在旁边也是给压力。
对的。
那 OMG 其实，在缺少掉这几个关键性大招的情况下面，他们也没有办法再贸然行动。
感觉就是 OMG 这几波大招的配合吧，
没配合上。
对，都是没有配合到点子上。
因为他们正面想要留人的话，主要还是要靠 PP God。其他几个点留人的手段都比较疲软。
慢慢带吧，这把妖姬的出装也还是以带线流的 AD 妖姬，只要有潮虫 ，AD 妖姬和武器大师，其实在后期就是能给对方一些塔的压力。
AD 妖姬还是在单带上面的空间更大，在正面对完的伤害肯定是没有办法跟沙皇去比的。
其实你看设计师几轮的改版，不管是改这个小兵驱逐器，还是改电刀，以及后面热补丁去削弱这个妖姬的攻速收益，
已经试了很多次，
都是为了削弱这个 AD 流妖姬，但还是很好用。
对。我们也是看到这3轮车的数据，
很契合这种妖姬的个边带线以及一些刺客的属性。 而且横这两波的节奏都没有找到太完美的一个时机啊，被对方给规避了。他一波是开 PP 告的，在 PP 告的有7-5成双，直接回去了。
这把主要是他的进场那种远距离的锁头，其实没有人能够跟得上。看一下这里，想要留小芳，但小芳
直接开出来，帮忙挡一下，一个大招挡到了，但是在大招打了3个人，打得非常不错。这波打人伤害爆炸了，直接拿到 Killing Spree 给到 Angel， 而旁边还得在 Wonder 在这个位置找闪现，而且这个位置 Angel 直接要收割了，再回去在 A 下能不能 A 到，在第2踩踩到了，再回去。这波 Angel 直接把这面战场化成了他的屠戮场，
一波非常完美的团战，而且刚才。Fofo 推回去的是一个开启反击风暴的武器，也挺吓人的。那这样一来的话，接下来对方4个人的情况下，可以顺势 rush 掉这一条才诞生没多久的大龙。
就正面的这科学地狱火炮，以及配合切后的一个 Angel 啊，是直接让这个团战 W 打不了了。我们来看一下，第一时间炸弹人这个大招，以及妖姬的贴后。
这个位置
抬2个
太差了，这个位置完美的被 OMG 这里给集火。
其实你看，就是2把 W 的问题啊，我们在上把跟国也分析到，就是站位问题。其实，在今天2场比赛还是爆出来一些的。
镜头一转，我们看到在野区两边都辅助缠斗上来，PP 告的黏住。看一下这里想要找机会
抬到 Wonder， 刚才交过闪的，再给大招，这波看波链接上了。
Wonder 这里也是阵亡了，看一下人头给到谁，现在还给了一个及时救难，但是远方的 Cube 直接反击炮遇到了2个人，再下一抬到了3个人 ，AOE 直接全部配合上拉满了 ，Fofo 推了一个空大，这里也很难再操作了，最后是被 Angel 带走，拿到一波 Triple Kill。PP 告的还在留人，留微沃的，
但好像留不太住了。
这个微沃还是比较的肉的。
是的，就是一人一波呗。就这波 Cube 是属于一个一闪，直接把对方全部留住了。
来对方高地上面进行一个心理上面的压制啊。
但其实这个断线也是有一定效果的，他可以直接一个人断2波线。
但最多的还是搞到心态了。
牛的球
无以迷踪，
还是这个版本。配合出装吧，妖姬给到对方那个载势还是太强了。
是的。
但这个位置好像这样队友被留了。预告的能冲出来吗？冲出来了，2个盾。哦呦，刷新一下自己还是跑出来了。
87血。
这只是让 W 太难受了，本来以为可以留一个的，最后一个都没留住。我们来看上一波。第一时间其实就在等队友 ，P 告在等队友，然后配合队友去先杀一个，然后看这波快宝这个进场其实进得非常好，跳斩过去之后一闪晕2个，全部给留住了。
还是那个问题，就是每次在这种狭小的隘口的时候 ，W 感觉整个的撤退路线都没有能够商量好。
是的，
就大家有一点慌乱，然后在对方的这种远距离的 AOE 拉持之下的话，就只能溃败了。
所以在后面我感觉就是在教练组们还是要考虑这个妖姬这个版本怎么去做应对，因为2把虽然说上把可能说在 W 中后期打的这个比较稳扎稳打，但其实边带线的妖姬还是给到他们一个非常大的压力的，而这把同样也是，现在妖姬已经是 Legendary 了。
因为打这种边带拉扯的阵容的话，你需要正面可以可以给到对方压力，去开对方的正面，让他们边带的英雄必须要来看。但是 WE 的选人毕竟都是像列娜塔这样的反手英雄，其实在正面想要先手只能靠横。那刚刚也提到了横的远距离进场，自己的队友其实第一时间跟不太上。
是的，横这把其实玩的挺难受的。
所以几波没配合上，是的，没有能够开好。
这把好像没有看到中野联动，对吧？横基本都是在野区的几波大招进攻都被化解了，还有一波是自己直接被带进去了。
对，
就感觉这把为了一个选择，确实在游戏里面那个效果蛮一般的，直接交吉布，这波有点生气，直接想就拍到了，交闪过来，一个把他移到了，现在变成了歪味的很生气，大波的还在追，还想再去敲晕一个，还在敲，在场团这边搅局，
被抬起来了，
横直接一个 Q 被 PP 告的给拦了下来，但看这波快宝的一个进场，大招直接给到了后排，他是炸一下横直接被炸死了，而妖姬也踢到后方，歪味这个位置没有吉布之后，只能被人拉扯，
反身抱住了微沃的，而且 Angel 就在身后，再配合上反击风暴，直接将 Iwandi 的及时救难打了出来。Iwandi 这里也阵亡了，而 Angel 已经超神了，在后排 微沃的这里还在进行缠斗，但是队友没有办法可以跟上。Fofo 这里也交出一个大招推回来 ，Angel 交闪之后拉开了，妖姬还是比较灵活的。那这里想追是比较难了，而微沃的这里还在缠斗，
一个人6-3个是吧？
但是没有人能够救他了呀。
再刷新一个自己的一个终极形态，但感觉微沃的还是难逃一死啊！被大叔捆到之后，配合超级兵3个打不死你，再配合超级兵4个，这终于 将 Wayward 斩于马下。
就还是那个问题啊，就横开进去是没有任何人能跟得上的，这个阵容会非常的脱节。
感觉这波机会其实，在第一时间留人留的还行，但在后面就刚才你也聊到，横的进场还是被化解了。
就如果说右边的辅助是洛，那我觉得这个团应该是摧枯拉朽的，可以跟上。但是真的没有人能跟啊，这太远了。
哇，其实 Wayward 不得不说，在这个团战里面还挺尽力的，对吧？
而且 PP
他意识在脚，
到的也比较关键，他第一时间让横没有办法非常顺畅的进场。而后续TP 的眼位让 Angel 可以在特意给到对方消耗。
其实 Angel 这波也是第一时间差点被 A 死，
主要他
因为毕竟是双 C 啊，
对，
是的，
一个人在挑战2个双 C。
但换言之，也是为队友提供了一些拉扯的时间，对吧？让队友可以在第一时间去处理到 Wayward。
没有了右边没有了双 C， 其他人是没有战力的。
是的。哇，现在左边这个装备已经是相当豪华了。
现在28分钟，经济差已经来到了1万块钱。其实整体的局面对于 WE 来说就比较的头疼了。是
的，这把的悬念其实比起上把来讲已经小很多了。只要是 OMG 正常的运营，然后让妖姬和武器大师的一个分带，团战其实在正面 WE 还是很难打的。
对。
OMG 要稍微打得耐心一些。
这把不同于上一把的还有一个点，也是在于刚才硕硕提到的，就是ADC 的不同，对吧？
是的，横这波想来个周期大招后，但是2颗针眼啊，兄弟，全部看到横的一举一动，
已经
直接过来了，要锁谁呢？
要开吗？
想尝试一下，但正面好像也被留了。Angel 一脚踩完之后，大招的科技火炮直接打到 I Want Day，I Want Day 交闪完之后还回了一口血。小峰这个位置也只能交闪，因为第一时间 Wayward 顶在前面，自己队友还在下路，武器大师还没有来到正面战场。
这一波主要是让后被看见了，所以也没有办法开了。
这一波其实在第一时间正面是一个4打5，因为武器大师毕竟不在。
对，扣一下伤害。
但是 Angel 目前来讲的话，已经是非常难去防守了，对于 W 来讲。
毕竟是一个，看一下这一波 ，TP 刚才想要开，
直接开到这边，
开到 Prince 要被秒了，反攻帽开启，交出闪，拉开了。
但是这个位置背靠防御塔，感觉还可以继续打一些输出 ，Prince 丝血锁住，
非常极限。但是快宝在旁边给压力，这边只能撤退。
很想去找这个机会啊！
那这样的话，把对面打残的时候，直接去炸龙，
炸了一下，
好痛好痛！还好是个出肉的大树。
是的。那这样大龙感觉对于 OM 来讲是可以笑纳了，因为妖姬旁边去给一些压力，正面只要打下大龙就可以了。
而且这波是把 Prince 双招全都打出来，那一个没有位移的维鲁斯，下波想要存活就真的犹如登天。主要还是甩头流的维鲁斯啊，
交踢过来想去防守这波大龙，大龙看一下血量3000血，感觉这个大龙血量已经差不多到一个斩杀血量了，一个 Q 场直接拿到大龙。Wayward 想去留下人 ，Wayward 这个位置开启了自己的冲击形态，但是正面的伤害太低了，前过来踩一脚大招，这个大招给的有点乌龙，往后给自己的队友是吧？那这样的话撤退应该是还可以撤退的。
那 WE 看一下能不能趁着对方回城的时间点，把第3条龙给拿下来。那我们来看一下 Angel 这边身上是有 TP 的 ，Story 也有 TP， 正面 Angel 已经先一步的来到正面战场了。
是的，
其他几个人赶过来稍微有一点慢。
有沙皇，感觉打龙速度还挺快的。看一下啊，这个第一时间 PP God 和块宝先过来，大树还在后翼，但这个位置应该是拿不到了。
没有能够拿到，后半嘬了一口。这边想找机会直接开吗？
想留人，这个是个很好的机会，对于 OMG 来讲。
快宝这里直接锤了上去，但他反冲锋还没有转好。
要打下拉扯，按照这个位置一直在打前排，但是这个位置已经被包抄了。看一下小方怎么去开了，小方被体外结合拉了一下，Wayward挡在前面，但是后续妖姬开始拉扯了，这波想去开，但是被这个冲拳给锤了一下，正面战场就打的伤害还挺高的一个救赎直接打下来，然后后排全部满血了，正面战还打不了，只能选择卖自己 Wayward 应该是要走不掉了，但这波 Wayward 的一倒，正面应该是可以尝试去直接一波的。
是的，恶意收购也没有能够收购到人，而同时的话，这个炸弹直接炸到了3个人。那这样的话 ，OMG 可以向前继续追击，由小方这里直接扛塔，而且交出自己的大招劝退对方。
想留人，
而且真的想留人。
Fofo 被留到，那 Fofo 一倒只剩一个 Prince 的 C 位。
差一下，
兵再回去不可选取的状态还活了下来，那这样真的是要一波了，看一下怎么去推这个梅亚塔了。Prince 这个自己还是很难抵挡对方5个人去推一个塔，而且还有虚空潮冲以及大龙加持这个兵。 为复活。现在对于 OMG 来讲的话，如果选择求稳，他们可以2路之后再等兵线。武器大师赚了反击风暴之后，但最后没有赚到，但有这一下巨球，主动效果直接拿下了 Prince。那我们也可以恭喜 OMG 2比0，拿到他们一个赛季的开门红。
恭喜 OMG！ 在这一场59亿大战60亿的比赛的今年春季赛的第1局当中，是由 OMG 更胜一筹。
今天对于 OMG 这几名小伙子，只能说打得真的挺好的，尤其是对于野区来讲吧。小方这名打野在前期的一个思路啊，我觉得是很明确。他拿到贾克斯这样打野，其实在前面的一个打架能力也体现出来；而拿到大师这样打野的话，在前期一个控制能力也是做了出来。但就是可能说在中期2波大招吧，跟队友的配合稍微是次了一些，但其他正常都是非常出色的。
是。
而对于 W 来讲的话，我们刚才在解说途中也是聊到那个问题，就还是一些在游戏里面的站位问题，这个是可能在后面要复盘去化解掉的。而在其他的话，就是觉得要多磨合吧，因为毕竟一个新的赛季在等待他们。
是，未来的路还很长。Angel 也很开心啊，
这把给 Angel 玩爽了呀，真的玩爽了，
战斗爽。
是的，
也是再一次恭喜 OMG。
恭喜 OMG 拿下了自己的赛季开门红。其实这一把 WE 在前期的资源控制方面，包括依靠一个可能比较强势的下路组合，也拿下了线杀，已经做得还不错了。但是我感觉 OMG 还是在团战的协同性，包括他们很知道自己什么时候该干什么样的事情，做得更好一些。看到5个小伙子还是非常开心的，因为今天拿下来的话，对于他们来说也是一个士气的上升。
对。思路是非常清晰的，其实2把都能够看得出来 ，OMG 他们在拿到这样的阵容情况下面，也是不骄不躁的去稳步运营。
对，2个队今天打比赛给我的感觉就是 OMG 他们并不像一个说，大家磨合蛮少的一个队伍，而反观 WE 他们特别像一个就是刚组建成一个新的队伍，他们很缺一些磨合和沟通，然后因为磨合和沟通的失误，所以才会导致在团战里面这个站位失